till it's over. Don't let it shake me, no. Let it make me go under. Let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. 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 Nothing's gonna stop me Nothing's gonna stop me now. There's something in his eyes. There's a storm within, but it's written in the skies. Let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Won't let it make me go under. Won't let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me. No one will ever get left behind. A million more before I've tried. Won't let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Let it make me go under. Let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. 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 So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me. No one will ever get left behind. A million more before I've tried. Won't let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Let it make me go under. Let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. 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 Nothing's gonna stop me Nothing's gonna stop me now. There's something in his eyes. There's a storm within, but it's written in the sky. Let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Won't let it make me go under. Won't let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me. No one will ever get left behind. A million more before I've tried. Won't let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Let it make me go under. Let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me something in his eyes. There's a storm within, but it's written in the sky. Let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Won't let it make me go under. Won't let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me. No one will ever get left behind. A million more before I've tried. Let it break me till it's over. Let it shake me, no. Let it make me go under. Let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. 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 Nothing's gonna stop me Nothing's gonna stop me Nothing's gonna stop me now. There's something in his eyes. There's a storm within, but it's written in the sky. Let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Won't let it make me go under. Won't let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me. No one will ever get left behind. A million more before I've tried. Let it break me till it's over. Let it shake me, no. Let it make me go under. Let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. 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 Nothing's gonna stop me Nothing's gonna stop me now. There's something in his eyes. There's a storm within, but it's written in the sky. Let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Won't let it make me go under. Won't let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me. No one will ever get left behind. A million more before I've tried. Won't let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Let it make me go under. Let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. 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 Nothing's gonna stop me Nothing's gonna stop me now. There's something in his eyes. There's a storm within, but it's written in the sky. Let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Won't let it make me go under. Won't let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. something in his eyes. There's a storm within, but it's written in the sky. Let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Won't let it make me go under. Won't let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me. No one will ever get left behind. A million more before I've tried. Won't let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Won't let it make me go under. Won't let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. 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 Nothing's gonna stop me Nothing's gonna stop me Nothing's gonna stop me now. There's something in his eyes. There's a storm within, but it's written in the sky. Let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Won't let it make me go under. Won't let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me. No one
at one of the rising teams, posing a threat to the big names. Not to forget, from a disappointing performance on day 2, Ego Esport of Vietnam soared high on day 3, catching up to the top teams. With only 3 days of the group stage remaining, will EVO's Phoenix continue to rule the world of FreeFire as the fabled Icarus? Or will the region of Indonesia and MCPS pose a big enough challenge to threaten the throne? Who will ascend? Who will crumble? And who will qualify for the FFSI 2023 Grand Finals?
Know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. No rush, go on, move dumb. Push and go on, move dumb. Peace and love turn to peace and gloves. Now you gotta do a run up. Generations caught up, look how things will switch. People there quick, now they wanna move out the bits. Boy wanna draw to bitch, nah. Unless you heard it from me, and you ain't heard it from me. Got it from me, all that energy extra. They always see me with the hitters.
Job, leaving them beaners alone. Me with a squeeze, I get no feelings involved.
Job, leaving them beaners alone. Me with a squeeze.
I'm getting high.
Cho một lẩu Thái anh ơi.
Play games.
Yo, crank that volume, turn it way up. Get your weapon, get your blade out. Damage, then you gon' pay up. Yo, crank that volume, turn it way up. Get your weapon, get your blade out. Damage, then you gon' pay up.
Yo, crank that volume, turn it way up.
17 teams from 7 regions lit the fire within them as we kicked off the first week of the FFSI 2023 group stage. We saw some of the cleanest plays, the boldest clutches, and the most heartbreaking blowouts. Hailed as the strongest region in FreeFire, the Thai representatives did not disappoint. Well, most of them didn't. E-Arena, the first seed of Thailand, struggled to find the tempo and only managing to collect a measly 73 points by the end of the week, putting them in the 16th spot. On the other hand, despite a bumpy start, the two-time world champions EVOS Phoenix showed that they are still formidable on an international stage by bagging a total of 4 booyahs and grabbing the top spot in week 1. Securing second place, Magic Esports made an impression with their magical debut, especially Saming coming in with his peculiar performances, claiming the week 1 MVP title. Closely following behind, First Raiders Eclipse and Genesis Dogma SF from Indonesia show that they are not to be underestimated, as First Raiders Eclipse show consistency by racking up the exact same eliminations and placement points as Magic Esports, only to be separated by their booyah count. While Genesis Dogma SF had the explosive start and racking up 100 points on day 2. Another noteworthy moment from week 1 would be the 2 vs 4 clutch play from MCPS representative Expand, stealing away the booyah from Genesis Dogma SF on the very same day and proving that they are one of the rising teams, posing a threat to the big names. Not to forget, from a disappointing performance on day 2, Ego Esport of Vietnam soared high on day 3, catching up to the top teams. With only 3 days of the group stage remaining, will EVOS Phoenix continue to rule the world of FreeFire as the fabled Icarus? Or will the region of Indonesia and MCPS pose a big enough challenge to threaten the throne? Who will ascend? Who will crumble? And who will qualify for the FFSI 2023 Grand Finals?
The glue wall smash to the one and only 9 fan from the side of FW.
Grenades!
And it looks like EVOS Phoenix gonna eat a few. Here comes FW now. Nade after nade after nade after nade after nade. 9 fan manages to get God Cruise out of the equation, and EVOS Phoenix gonna... Dogma already with a single elimination, also looking for Donbu. If they can snuff out MGE early, this is really gonna down the spirits of Magic.
Yeah, Magic Esports. Donbu.
Oh, I see that! Pulled out. That's gonna back him up for a little bit as he patches himself right back up. North, on the other hand, we're back up. Start!
Back by Donbu, FR coming in to try and help out. Wasana is there with his friends as well. We've seen the triple homers before, and a swing from Craven, getting the exchange, and they win! Oh my goodness, FR, what has happened? First Raiders Eclipse, they're breaking through the glue walls, they're trying to run down the rest of Morph Team. Lozzy! Taking out Ambot as well, is only heard the truck, and that's Borges. He's gonna try it. It's gonna be huge. Bloody goes down. Souza gets traded back, but FR, there are 2 members left from the roof. North gets yanked by the end.
Throw the nade!
The ice grenade, just a bit out of range. Drago is back up. North gonna drop down from the roof, looking for Rip God, tagging the blue zone. There is an opportunity, but he's running out of time. Bloody on the ground. Gmail coming in. It's super good news as Fast and Roy coming in the name. Yelps go down. Borges dropping low. Roy on the left side. They're gonna get a big flank. The clutch is Too Fast doing it big time. Too Fast doesn't notice.
Too Fast grows up. Borges does manage to drop his health right back up. And Too Fast just has to be really careful here. 3 more grenades to work around. He's been slowed down already. Borges now with the Woodpecker, but Groza is gonna...
Might be able to steal that away. Get High now with support of Jonah from so far. Might have a chance against GD. Get High still has a lot of that health to work with. Even at the bonfire, just swapping these doorways. He is middle and finally downstairs. Grenade launcher. Get out. Oh, it's like baby. I also. GRC reviving the whole team, and you have Iza God is gonna hold this compound. 1v1 against 18 Deer. Raz is joining very fast. Iza God off the glue wall, double glue wall, blocking line of sight, but he's still getting pressured. Backup provided from behind. 18 Deer, they really want to try and break through this glue wall, and they will do it. But Iza God, you have suppressive fire from 2E from behind. Iza God now turns the corner. Tries to go for the challenge, but it might be a bad choice. And again, Raz gets taken down. Iza God taking advantage of the reload. Backup coming through for GRC. Iza God still alive. This guy is taking it to the next level. 18 Deer looks for him. Iza God Pixel gets the second drop. Fire, can he close it out? Darklove shows up. Fire can't get the job done. The time turner protecting Iza God. GRC, they fall flat.
Kill.
It's that time of the week again, and you know what that means. Free Fire SEA Invitational 2023 kicking off the second and final week of the group stage. And as always, you are here on set with me. My name is Husky, as I'm going to show on the screen right now. Boom! Here I am. Alongside me is the Mustachio AJ. 3 more days of group stage, and by the end of this week, we will find out which top 12 makes it to the grand finals.
Absolutely right. And of course, we do have not 6 but only 5 teams who might not be able to make it. Unfortunately for Team Legacy, they were not able to join us. So from 18, we dropped down to 17. But in the final 3 days, we look for the top 12 creme de la creme teams who will be giving us the best of FreeFire action, the best of the best in SEA through 3 days of battle. I mean, what more can we ask for? Not only do we get a group stage, but a 3-day grand finals.
Yeah, we have passed through the halfway point, right?
Yeah.
We went through a very exciting week 1. You know, we've seen some teams absolutely rise to the top. We saw some teams fall flat, but thankfully, Garena is very generous. There's always a chance to bounce back. I think this week is a week of redemption for a lot of these teams at the bottom.
At least I hope it is a week of redemption. If the unfortunate run continues for some of them, I mean, as a matter of fact, we will see 4 out of the 5 bottom teams in performance in here today through all of these maps, right? We start things off as usual at Bermuda, head on into Purgatory for Game 2. Game 3 is Alpine, followed by Nexterra in Game 4. We hit the reset for Bermuda. That's the only map that will be played twice, unless, of course, the randomizer would like to bring us to Bermuda for the 3rd time in a day, which has not happened so far. So I'm actually putting my money on Bermuda being game number 6.
Yeah, I have your back. I also want Bermuda because we've seen all the other maps play in Game 6, but not Bermuda yet. Hopefully today is the day. But we also need to remind all of you guys, especially those who are tuning in for the first time, the teams that are playing today. For Group A, you have EVO's Phoenix, a 2-time world champion. You have Team Flash, Farang, Alpha, and LGDS. And obviously in this group, EVO's Phoenix are at the top right now, number 1 spot, undisputed best team in the region currently, but you also have Alpha and LGDS who have been showing up pretty well if you compare it to the past performances.
Absolutely, but of course none can deny the fact that EVO's Phoenix is the only top dog within this group. The rest of the 4 teams are actually towards the bottom of the leaderboard, with LGDS having the best performance out of them in the bottom. They are currently in the 12th spot. Let's take a look at Group B as well, led by First Raiders Eclipse, even on the leaderboard as they hold on to the 3rd place. Morph team from Indonesia, E-Arena, the Thai team that has been struggling for quite a little bit, down in the 16th spot, followed by FWP Esports as well as Wastu Mundo. Quite a lot of stragglers here as well.
Yeah, and I think today is a very mixed bag of teams playing, right?
Yeah.
Again, EVO's Phoenix at the top. We have the team in 1st place playing, and we have the team in 17th place.
Yeah.
Well, we have the team from 14th to 17th place playing today. It's gonna get spicy because you look at the point difference, making it in the top 12. The benchmark is LGDS.
Oh yeah.
The region of Taiwan holding to that spot, to that gateway for grand finals is something that I wouldn't expect myself to say, but this is the situation we have for now.
I am on the LGDS hype train today for sure. And if you look at the bottom 6, 5 out of the 6 teams will be in performance, which is quite the big day. So goes back to your point of view earlier on. You want to see them rise to the top. I want to see the exact same as well. But looking at some of their gameplay from week 1, I don't know if we are asking for a little bit too much, right? I mean, LGDS, we've seen some phenomenal plays. Alpha has always shown us that they've got the capability of surviving, all thanks to their star player. But as for the rest of the teams, I mean, teams like E-Arena, I just haven't been able to figure out what's going on, Husky.
Yeah, we definitely need a bit more convincing. But we want to look at the teams that have already convinced us for today. Of course, leading into the 2nd week, we have First Raiders Eclipse with EVO's Phoenix and FW Esports. Nothing out of the ordinary. These 3 teams have been absolutely phenomenal. I think FW Esports deserve a praise, a special praise, right? They're currently in 5th spot, and this is also one of the few teams that is debuting for the very first time, and they have been stellar.
And surprisingly, out of these 3 teams, the one that's doing worse is FW Esports, because the conversion from all of the damage is just not showing through their eliminations. I mean, if you compare FR as well as EVO's Phoenix, they are most definitely at the top of the leaderboard. But if you look at FW, they are in the 5th spot with just 69 eliminations to their names. But of course, let's take a look at Nero as well and how he's performing so far in the competition. Super high damage, and you've got the eliminations to back that up as well.
Yeah, but the only thing that I think PE Esports are worried is that they got off to a very good start on day 1. I believe the first official booyah of FFSI was taken by PE Esports. but they kind of went quiet on the second day of the group stage. They're currently in 11th spot, so a lot of work needs to be done. But as we prepare for Bermuda, we have to look out for these three teams. First Raiders Eclipse, Evos Phoenix, and LGDS. They have been the highlighted team for all the Bermuda maps so far.
Absolutely, and I just love that for LGDS. I'm for sure on the LGDS hype train, not just today, but for the first 3 days. And this is just going to continue because I really want to see Taiwan soar up to the top. But of course, the day's not going to be complete without a couple of Rose videos for all of you to tune into.
Team mình cần phải chủ động và mạnh dạn hơn trong các pha chạm tranh và team mình sẽ luyện tập nhiều hơn để làm được điều đó.
ฝากถึงทีมแฟดนะครับเห็นวิกที่แล้วมั่นใจตอนนี้ยังมั่นใจอยู่หรือเปล่าครับ
Mình nghĩ team mình cần cải thiện tâm lý tốt hơn để chuẩn bị cho tuần thi đấu tiếp theo.
วิกที่ผ่านมาผมคิดว่าทีมผมทำได้ดีอยู่แล้วครับแล้ววิกต่อไปผมมีแผนที่จะทำให้ดีกว่าเดิมครับ
Một vài lời muốn gửi tới tuyển thủ Nốt là kỹ năng của bạn thật tuyệt và hy vọng rằng chúng ta sẽ gặp nhau và đối đầu ở tuần tiếp theo.
Let's check it out a little bit because Team Flash are in danger. The Radiant World Champ is coming through. Yanbin is dropping low. Doesn't have much help left, and Team Flash are out.
ทีมแฟด
Why you so easy?
วิกที่ผ่านมาผมคิดว่าทีมผมทำได้ดีอยู่แล้วครับแล้ววิกต่อไปผมมีแผนที่จะทำให้ดีกว่าเดิมครับ
ฝากถึงทีมยูโวนะครับระวังจะโดนปล้นที่ 1 มานะ
Nade up the nade up the nade up the nade up the nade.
ฝากหน่อยนะครับเจอกันที่ตู้ครั้งแสงรอบหน้าเดี๋ยวผมหวนให้ยับเลย
ก็ฝากถึงทีมที่คิดว่าพวกผมอยู่ท้ายตารางนะครับก็ตอนนี้พวกผมรออยู่ทางโค้งแล้วครับ
Não nos saímos bem nesta semana, mas estamos a trabalhar nisso e não nos subestimem.
รีบตามมานะพี่ผมรออยู่ครับ
Oh God!
What can I say? Someone,
Goodness.
I have a suggestion. Someone needs to stop Jonah. So we need to interview someone else for Evos Phoenix because Jonah.
No!
No, I think it's
We don't need to stop Jonah. We need to get Jonah to give everybody else coaching on how to trash talk.
so there is this whole story arc in the very first.
Why are you
Rose
so
video.
easy?
Before that, so we first of all, I think he really doesn't like the Team Flash. Team Flash was like, we beat you before, and then we cut to Jonah, and Jonah was like, yeah, well, you were confident last week. What about now? And then Team Flash was like, see you next week. They just did a double take so fast. That was absolutely funny.
Oh my lord. Okay, as we kick off week number 2, of course, we're going to start things off. Group A going up against Group B. Group C is going to be taking a break today. They will be in action tomorrow. Question is going to be for today, if or not some of these bottom stragglers can continue to climb up the leaderboard. For sure, they will be able to a certain degree because you do not have 6 teams through the 17 playing in here. So there will be a little bit of movement, but the movement needs to be substantial enough so that when we do see the presence of Group C, they don't get overtaken a little bit too easily. And of course, we are talking about teams like E-Arena, we're talking about teams like Vasco Mundo, and by the way, to Protete, we don't think they're at the bottom. We can see the leaderboard. So unfortunately, we know they're at the bottom.
Hope the winds will change. That's what Potato said.
I don't know, man. You can blow the other way at the wind. You can fart in its face. Something needs to do here for E-Arena to continue to climb up, and they drop into Graveyard. It does not look like the good sign that the team needs.
It is a good sign there's no one else there. And so far, there is no one else at Graveyard. LGDS heading over to Shipyard. That is their common drop spot. Nothing out of the ordinary so far. I think one of the few things we notice when it comes to between Group A and Group B is that how these drop spots are influenced, right? There's lesser early action because the teams, they really respect each other, and that is why when we talked about Group C last week, Group C was kind of the deal breaker. They love to mess around with the other teams that they go up against. You know, Fire is going to take Sentosa. That is also very common for them. FW going all the way to the east side. So we are expecting a very slow start.
The teams are also given an extended pause at the very start of the game, just as the flight path opens up the map, so that they can devise exactly where they would like to go and take this drop, whether it's something that they've pre-planned. And depending on the flight path, sometimes you need to change a little bit of those decisions. But thus far, I think the only time we have ever seen an unfair flight path or one that is skewed towards the left or right has just been once out of the 16 matches.
Yeah, I think this group stage has been very kind to a lot of our competitors.
Yeah.
You know, I think we saw a lot of unfair flight paths last year at the World Stage. That one was very brutal, but that was across 2 days. Well, speaking about E-Arena, they now face the gatekeepers of the Grand Finals qualifications. It is Bruce right there, all alone. Potato instantly goes on to him. Bruce is the one who fires first, but they do have support from afar, so shut up. Alongside Potato will get this early kill. Nothing that Bruce can do.
I wonder if he popped the Avron already. Does give you the information on players within 50 meters radius, but it seems like that might have just been the case because they are very quickly switching on to the left-hand side. Gets caught in the crosshairs of Limit. And that AC-80 will do its damage through the glue walls. These bullets will not penetrate, but the moment that glue wall does go down, Limit is going to be able to put a quick... roll down on the ground. Eliminated as well. And quick campfire. Let's see how long he survives this, but Protete already cutting from the right-hand side. This looks like it's all going to be over.
Over for 3 members of LGDS for sure. One last member was able to sneak away, so they still have someone on the team that can bring them back. But Harold very, very unlucky, you know, trying to find a way for him to use that launchpad to get out, but took a bit too long to align himself in that general direction. Yuan does have that revival point, but he doesn't feel safe enough to use it right now. And I can understand, right? Because Graveyard is just very near Shipyard. And that's exactly where E-Arena came from. And this is the E-Arena that you want to see. An E-Arena that is not afraid to challenge these obscure areas that other teams normally wouldn't bother.
Very surprising early rush from E-Arena. Everything goes their way. Yuan, very quick purchase back. I think he buys Bruce back. And he is going to use that revival platform by the way he's moving. But the first Raiders, taking a little bit of pot shots against Wastumundo with no retaliation whatsoever, but Crusher, he has got the capability of shutting down Souza. Souza, left-hand flank. Lozzie on the right-hand side as well. Crusher with an opportunity, but Wastumundo already with Luca out of the equation. Can they survive the onslaught of the first Raiders?
Oh, this is going to be a very tough one. Like, Crusher has to go very big. He has to be able to take out Souza without losing any of his teammates who are getting pelted. You can see all the glue walls are expanded, and this early on, if you're using this much glue wall, you better get something out of it. Crusher getting the first knock onto Lozzie, looking for some confirm. They had their grenade launcher, but Crusher just not landing the shots. No chip damage at all. And FR, they managed a decent recovery. The whole team is back up. They're ready for this final push. Homer drone onto Crusher. He's going to lose that glue wall and his life. Nunes gets knocked down. Blazer 10 left all alone against the entire force of First Raiders Eclipse. And another start for Wastumundo that just looked absolutely devastating.
Yep. They are most definitely devastated at this point of time. Wastumundo, we started the day off with them in the 17th spot, and I guess they will continue to stay there for a little bit. They just needed one good match to rise above the position of E-Arena. And I guess that lead that E-Arena has on them is just going to extend because E-Arena looks like they are souped up. So we start the day off by highlighting 2 of the bottom teams, and it looks like one's definitely having a better day than the other.
And, you know, I just want to quickly talk about Wastumundo because I think this... You can clearly feel the heartbreak, right? It's being more and more apparent because I did talk to some people, I think after week 1 about how Wastumundo was feeling, and I think they are not happy with how week 1 has went. I think they've been struggling a lot.
You don't need to talk to anyone to find that out, Husky. Like, clearly week 1 went terrible.
Well, I mean, you can look at the numbers, but you also need to understand the psychology behind how the team is communicating.
Yeah.
And I think they beat themselves up really hard after day 1.
They should.
after week 1, excuse me, but unfortunately, it's still the same at the start of week 2. So I think the boys kind of needs kind of the fifth figure, that third party to talk to them, maybe a coach or something. Some things are definitely not working well.
Unfortunately, just nothing's going their way, right? And when you just thought that Luca would just be that MVP to rise above all of the other teams, in fact, even in some solo engagements, the guy is the first one to get taken down in some of these major engagements, which obviously does not do Vasto Mundo a lot of favors whatsoever. But let's focus down on PE Sports as they have 2 teams to worry about, Morph as well as EVOS Phoenix. These are 2 very big teams for PE to take on. And PE, one of the teams that started off the league hot on day number 1. They soon fizzled out on day 2. This seems to be something that PE just needs to fix. And this is the best time, the best map to get that done. EVOS Phoenix obviously is not going to be moving anywhere from their position. They do have a revival point. The circle hunts them down as well. But a drone's going to fish out the position of the PE Esports players.
PE Esports is kind of like GRC Aphrodite, right? Off to a good start on day 1, and day 2 you kind of disappear into the wind. Very congested circle this early on, 7 minutes into the game. I noticed that Farang is playing it safe on the southern side. In normal situations, I'll be like, okay, that's kind of how Farang approaches things in the beginning. They do play slow, but I feel like you need to ramp things up a bit more because they were in the 15th spot at the start of the day. You gotta get those points. It's very, very important. E-Arena now will have to face off against First Raiders.
I agree and disagree as well with the Farang assessment because they already are very low in confidence, Husky. If they jump into a couple of these fights and they get wiped out all over again, they're going to start off week 1 on a very, very wrong note. Staying safe, maybe getting into the top 5 just purely through survival might just be able to do that for them. And Shut Up just steps up with a Mag 7, knocking down North. A good nade will be pushed on by Souza, but the glue wall just bounces that away. Orgus very smartly defends himself. And First Raiders, without North, will have to find a way around E-Arena, who have just all of a sudden become one of the more aggressive teams within this setup of Group A versus B. Shut Up will be able to back away. First Raiders all blocking away this one small corridor. A couple of nades can do them in. So this is a very sticky situation that First Raiders are putting themselves in. And Shut Up steps up once again.
First Raiders Eclipse are getting suffocated by E-Arena right now with 2 members down. Souza being the 3rd. Shut Up is doing everything on his own. And Darko is the last man standing. Not for long. Shut Up! The 1 versus 4. This guy is finally awakened. I waited 1 full week for this.
This guy.
E-Arena, they are coming online.
He used 3 different weapons to snuff out 3 different players back to back to back. Can we talk about that AC-80 in play? He also had the RGS, switches out to the M1014. What gun is he not great at? He was just dancing circles around the First Raiders Eclipse. And unbelievably, E-Arena leads the pack with the most number of eliminations. Can we once again stress that this team was in the 16th spot and the only team doing worse than them is actually Vasto Mundo? My oh my, what a huge difference.
And I also want to stress that last time these 2 teams met, E-Arena has a super high average win rate when it comes to a full team skirmish against First Raiders Eclipse. We didn't get to see that on week 1, and now we are seeing E-Arena at their best. And hopefully this is what Potato has been alluring to, right? The changes of wins, the changes of how they approach the game, the aggression that we've been really wanting to see, we've been desperate to see from them, but didn't work out on week 1. So far with these 7 kills, I think the wins definitely blow in their favor.
I don't want to take away anything from that victory of E-Arena over First Raiders, but I have to say the way the First Raiders were taking that fight just seemed to be a little bit off. Usually they are so much more aggressive. They play a little bit more spread apart with the game of information, but this time around they were just clumping and stacking on each other, wishing and hoping someone else steps up to the ground and picks up that fight on their behalf. Unfortunately, none of them managed to do that. So from Bima Sakti Strip, we are going to see E-Arena now travel all the way into its peak, where Team Flash has already arrived, trying to set up a defensive perimeter, but I don't think anything's serving them all that too well. They are wide in the open. Team Flash either needs to reposition or they need to erect like 10 million glue walls around them, because by the time all of the other teams get in, they're the first ones who's going to get shot at.
Yeah, and we have been stressing this for so long, right? The importance of having the glue walls, all these utilities. We also kind of saw the downside if you use it early on. LGDS against Farang, another important fight because, like I said, Farang need these points. You know, you talked about how Farang, they need to play safe because they're not confident in those gunfights. But I believe LGDS is a team that Farang can take on in normal circumstances. And Farang, they're completely dodging this conflict. Gonna take that east side out. So, well, LGDS, they're not gonna get anything.
I am already noticing a huge difference in the movement speed of Team Farang. They are on point this time round. I mean, if you looked at their movement from last week, they just looked like, unfortunately, slots just crawling around the battlefield. Today, they look a little bit more proper. They've got that information earlier on already, and they back away from the fight. Nobody's going to engage them just yet. They want that final circle. But in the meantime, it's going to be EVOS Phoenix finally taking on PE Sports. Don't cry. Fires right back. Nero on the ground, though. And Hua Ang gets God Cruise from afar. Susanna steals the kill away. Team Morph wants to stuff their noses into this as well.
Yeah, and EVOS Phoenix, God Cruise, an absolute madman, runs into 3 people.
Susanna again.
And Susanna just stealing all these kills away. One more team, they have a second squad they need to worry about is LGDS. That is the closest threat. But Susanna, he took down Hong An as well from afar. I mean, Morph team, they just want to blow out 3 teams at once. But Farang also arrives at the scene. This could be a big haul if Farang can take out EVOS Phoenix.
Whatever Susanna had, I want some of that. The guy is on fire, but Farang now, unfortunately, has to take this fight. And it is up against the #1 seeded team within the league, EVOS Phoenix, already with the Mag 7 spots.
What?
And unfortunately for Aleph, he gets taken down instantaneously. Roro from afar manages to get a knock. Jonah down on the ground as well. Team LGDS out for the count. Jonah almost taken out already. And already is the final guy to survive this and help him back up onto his feet. But unfortunately for him, New K shows up and puts the end to EVOS Phoenix. Farang survives that.
Holy cow, already almost wiped the entirety of Farang all on his own. Can we just say how good they are? Through the glue wall, Limit was able to get some damage in onto Alpha, but E-Arena are also suffering right now. Shut up on the ground, Limit getting pincered by both Alpha and Team Flash. Things are heating up. E-Arena out in 7. We are going to speed up the rest of the round, AJ.
Rip God rips away that kill from Team Alpha. Alpha doing phenomenally well. And just like what we asked, all of these teams straggling at the bottom are making their way up to the top. Some phenomenal fights out there. And now this is just some flashbacks from week #1 FW taking on PE Sports in the only solid defensive position here. The winners are going to walk away with the booyah.
Yeah, Jembao tried to get on the launch pad. Don't step on there, Farang. You just saw your teammates get his head blown off. It will bring Jembao back up, but they are also tanking a bit of that blue zone. Might be forced straight into FW. Alpha shows up. Oh, this is going to be the final war zone. Remind on the roof. They want to get rid of PE Sports. This could be a good vantage point for them to take control of. All the glue walls being thrown up by PE Sports. Gatao actually takes up Punje of all people. Desira with New K down. PE left with 1 member. Is Hong Ang against the rest of the world. Has to deal with Farang. Got to deal with Alpha. Too many teams for them to take out. And PE Sports are out.
FW down at the bottom, just listening to everything that's going on, and they do not want to interfere just yet. They don't want to give up the beautiful defensive position that they've got. And look at all of that good time used, just barricading all of these walls. A couple of grenades, though, can just drop a couple of the FW players, and the circle moves far, far away. But of course, they've played this perfectly. Now, Alpha needs to move, FW needs to move. Farang definitely needs to get out of there, but they're all waiting for the circle to start moving first.
This is going to be crunch time because Alpha, they're desperately trying to clear out Team Flash just so they won't get interrupted when they go for the rotation. Bloody! But even Prozal somehow avoids the final shot. Team Flash, you can see the ideology, right? They are just barricading themselves using the terrain and the glue wall so that they won't get taken out. And now Alpha have a big problem. It's Farang and FW.
Farang needs to take these shots, but they also need to deal with the circle that is moving. And both Alpha as well as FW, they've got a lot of time for themselves already. Farang, they can just pull this distraction.
They're running it.
Mother Nature as a little bit of backup. Ice Grenade is not going to do much in this position. And now all 3 teams are going to tank the blue whilst they fight outside. And Flash is just going to be shaking their legs waiting for some action.
Yeah, Farang was able to get 3 guys through the building, so it's still not the worst, but now they're gonna rush straight to FW. Kim Halo just absolutely eviscerates them with the shotgun. Farang out in 5th place. FW, they're gonna start running right now. They have Alpha in front of them, and look at all the nades being thrown out. Susanna, meanwhile, gets tagged by Team Flash, as Team Flash wants to take control of the rest of the safe zone. They're gonna push Pew right into the blue and take him out. Meanwhile, Alpha, they're gonna take on FW while Team Flash just watch.
This might just be the very first booyah for Team Flash, and it, I have to say, will be the easiest booyah of the whole league so far. FW right in front of them, going up against Alpha. Alpha taken out, and it is only going to be Boon James going up against the whole of Team Flash, and they nail the booyah. And that was all done by them just chilling on the other side of the circle.
If you get the job done in an easy way, I think Team Flash will take it any day. Especially when you constantly have Jonah trash-talking them 2 weeks straight. Gotta get all the points that you can acquire. Team Flash, they were in the 10th spot, right? So they are very far away from EVO's Phoenix. This is a good start for them to catch up onto the champions.
But it was fantastic to be able to walk the talk in the very first game in itself. And of course, Karma seems to have bitten EVO's Phoenix a little bit too hard in this first game. They got taken out very, very prematurely, but we all know about the Undying Phoenix. They will bounce back somehow or rather. Even when you think it's absolutely impossible, they'll find the win. But Team Flash managing to rise up to the top is fantastic. And this is how things all started, with E-Arena truly popping off, Husky. This is the first game we are seeing them this aggressive within FFSI.
Yeah, this is the E-Arena that I love to see. When we first saw them, they were tearing it up. They were running into teams. They were taking fights over and over again. It almost felt like the Hares are just sprinting towards the finishing line. Obviously, this round, they got off to a very aggressive start. Stopped right dead in the middle thanks to being caught out mid-rotation. But overall, they got 7 kills, I think, last we saw, before they were eliminated. That's 7 points. Huge value if you're E-Arena.
I mean, at the end of the day, from not really being a lethal team out there on the battlefield to managing to take on 2 different teams in such an aggressive manner, walking away the victor, I think that would have put in quite a bit of confidence in the hearts of the E-Arena players. And that's exactly what we want to see for some of these bottom teams, because FFSI just got so much more exciting.
Yeah, I thought week 1 has already sealed the fate of majority of these teams, but I guess not. I guess the winds have changed. I guess the feng shui has blown in a different direction. A lot of the teams that I personally want to see make a redemption, a statement of them coming back and having a better chance, most of them were able to do so. I guess barring Vastamundo once more in round 1, but Alpha did pretty well. I think top 5. E-Arena came out the gate swinging, knocking First Raiders Eclipse out of the water instantly. Farang also making it quite far, even taking out EVO's Phoenix. So all these teams have really reflected on that week 1 performance.
In fact, Farang and the way they were moving out there on the battlefield just seemed so much more tighter than what it was last week. Last week was just a point of me just sitting down here confused, wondering exactly what Farang's game plan was, right? But today, you see it very clearly. Play the game of survival, and if you really get pushed in a corner, take those fights. And what great fights they did manage to take. Even going up against EVO's Phoenix, they didn't get snuffed out, although already was doing quite a number on them.
Yeah, Team Flash is the team that got the booyah finally after so long, and you can see that they have not as much kills as you would like, because they did play that very safe approach, but 7 kills and a booyah. That's 19 points for Team Flash, and they're going to be really happy about this, of course, with Bloody being the MVP, but RipGod is also the hidden support with 4 eliminations for himself. And overall, it's something that you always admire when you look at Team Flash play, a calculated and tactical approach, and that match 1 absolutely show that. And they also are one of the few teams that run basically 4 different characters, right? From the Homer to the Chrono to the Steffi and the A124.
It's a very interesting setup coming through, because that Chrono does manage to give them a little bit of backup only in these super sticky situations where those glue walls are not going to come in handy. And this is something that actually puts Team Flash on another level defensively. But Chrono's power doesn't really last all that too long. You've got quite a lengthy recovery on that Chrono's time turner as well. But they have used it to perfection in this first game, so good on them. Hopefully we do see Team Flash rise up to the occasion a few more times. Car, the weapon of choice for Bloody this time round. Only a single elimination. That's the only thing that's actually surprising here, Husky.
And I think it's for them it's okay because they play that long range. You know, you can use the AC-80 Woodpecker. I don't know, you can use the pistol and it wouldn't matter too much because they had the help of the other team. We've gone through all these compositions, you know, the entirety of week 1. So when you look back at the popular weapons, it's almost the same. Well, the M1014, the AC-80, and the RGS-50, which has been used quite a lot in the mid game.
I mean, we saw all three of these guns getting those highlight knocks as well as kills. I mean, and these are the 3 guns used by that one crazy guy who popped the whole of First Raiders. Which player was that again?
Shut up.
Shut up, yes. These are the exact same 3 guns.
I bet they saw that guy and they're like, I guess these are the popular guns. It should be weapons used by Shut Up to wipe out First Raiders. But a match standing for after game number 1 with Team Flash in first place, 19 points, and no other teams were able to kind of match them, right? They just read the circle very well. FW getting 13. You have more team coming in third with 12. Alpha getting 12 also. E-Arena getting 11 thanks to those 7 kills early on.
I mean, this is just an absolute surprise. Farang finally stepping up alongside E-Arena as well, getting 8 points. There's just no better way game number 1 could have gone for a majority of these teams who are sitting at the bottom. Of course, sans Vasto Mundo, the struggle still continues for the team. I didn't even see the very start of that engagement, neither did you, where Luca actually went down first.
Yeah, he was sniped from long range mid rotation. They brought him back up and he got down instantly. So
unfortunate for Luca. And if your star player just stands no chance very early game, the rest of the team members, I hope to see them really rise to the occasion and, you know, somehow bring Luca right back in, show that they can survive without him. But it hasn't been the case so far.
I think it has to start from morale, right? You need to always feel that you're confident. Thankfully for them, they have 5 more rounds to do so. Vasto Mundo, they are not out just yet. We're going to take a short break and we will come back as we head to Purgatory for game number 2.
Something in his eyes. There's a storm within, but it's written in the sky. Let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Won't let it make me go under. Won't let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me Nothing's gonna stop me. No one will ever get left behind. A million more before I've tried. Won't let it break me till it's over. Won't let it It's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. 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 Nothing's gonna stop me Nothing's gonna stop me now. There's something in his eyes. There's a storm then, but it's written in the sky. Let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Won't let it make me go under. Won't let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me. No one will ever get left behind. A million more before I've tried. Won't let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Let it make me go under. Let it make me go under.
Survivors, welcome back. This is the Fire SEA Invitationals, and match number 1 has just concluded with Team Flash bagging their very first booyah. And it looks like it's not going to be their final one, because we did see in the very first video of the day where EVOS Phoenix was just taking a couple of jabs at them through Jonah, and Team Flash said today is the day where they will arrive. And have they arrived? My name is AJ, I'm the Mustacho, down here with Husky. We are your casters for the day. Husky, what are your thoughts on Team Flash really walking the talk, man?
They are just delivering what EVOS Phoenix asked of them, right? EVOS Phoenix, not EVOS Phoenix. I have to make it clear first. It's just Jonah asking them to hurry up. Well, they picked up the pace a little bit, but they gotta keep running because they got one booyah, but they need a lot more to catch up to EVOS Phoenix. Maybe Purgatory is the map that they can repeat it again, but Purgatory is also a map where EVOS Phoenix have high top 3 rates on, alongside First Raiders Eclipse and FW Esports.
Teams to look out for, like you said, are these 3 that are up on the board. But once again, we are going to be bringing our sights over to the teams that are struggling as well, especially in the bottom 5. Team Flash, earlier in the day, they were in the 8th spot. With that solid booyah, they should be able to, I believe, catch up with GD. In fact, more than catch up with GD, even take down Morph and replace them in that 6th place. If Team Flash can continue with this trajectory, continuously climbing up the leaderboard is not going to be a problem. But of course, it goes back to the question of consistency. Can they keep it up? And as we head on into Purgatory, the question is all going to lie in maybe a couple of hot drops. This flight path, Husky, super decent, super neat, right down the center from Crossroads all the way to Lumber Mill. and campsite is going to be our high tier loot zone.
Yeah, this is one of the more fair flight paths because you get equal access to all 3 islands on this map. I don't count Mo House as an island, in case you're wondering.
It's fair enough.
Yeah,
okay.
but this is also a map where Farang actually performed well in our own region, and we also saw that for PE Sports, Hong Ang is out. They are bringing DNP in for this match. So minus swap for PE Sports, I think they're just trying to test out the different dynamics, but we might see that early clash though. Morph Team and PE Sports are heading towards the same direction.
I swear, I thought Flash was going to land in Brasilia and get stuck in this 3-way battle between Morph as well as PE, but thankfully that does not happen. But LGDS is not going to be as lucky. I believe there is another team within their vicinity. But we are going to take our attention over to PE first, and UK down on the ground, but not before Don't Cry manages to take Morph's Spew out of the equation as well. A good strike right back coming through from PE Sports, and with UK right back on their feet, we have to switch on over to First Raiders going up against LGDS, who are in the lead.
Yeah, First Raiders once more in an early exchange, but First Raiders are winning out. I mean, Roro getting the knockout onto Souza with an uppercut. But unfortunately, it's only Ng left. Grenade launcher in hand. It's not that easy though. Can Ng at least steal a couple kills away? You know, you can't make it hurt. LGDS are out. But guess what, AJ? E-Arena are showing up again.
Unfortunately for LGDS, they kind of picked on the wrong team here. PE Sports, it looks like Morph has brought their boy right back in E-Arena.
No.
They go in for the shutdown, and guess against who? It is the one and only First Raiders all over again, just like you said, Husky. Limit 67 HP left. He circles around and First Raiders get snuffed out all over again. And this time Shut Up didn't even need to do anything.
Dude, E-Arena is now the nightmare of First Raiders Eclipse. 2 rounds in a row, they were the one that executed FR. Oh, this must be a rough start if you are a First Raiders Eclipse fan. But LGDS, they've accomplished what Alpha wanted to do. You knock someone down with the fist. So Alpha, you know, running the claw. Time to ask Roro how he did it.
I hope and pray this does not motivate them to bring Kla out once again, because
we will only know if they get the booyah.
after that one good booyah, we've actually seen Team Alpha perform decently well. Decently enough to get into the top 12. So I don't want to see any monkey business. I don't want to see any Muay Thai out there on the battlefield just yet. Maybe once they secure the top 12, then yeah, give us some fun.
I mean, if they can do it with the claw, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Anyone can get a booyah. My dream, my wish for any official Free Fire league is that regardless of the result, when you reach the end of the group stage, I want every single team to at least have a booyah.
That's quite the big dream.
We have like, what, 24 rounds
Yeah.
with 17 teams, so it means that we need 17 unique booyahs. Never mind, I take that back. I don't think it's doable.
I mean, never say, okay, yeah, it's
Wait, 36 rounds, excuse me, but still, it's a tall task.
maybe it is. Like from now on, like it needs to start right here, right
now. So Team Flash
So
got
the next one is going to be Vasto Mundo, followed by Farah.
followed by... That's it. Everyone else has a booyah. I guess we're not getting any more unique ones today. LGDS. Right, there's one more. LGDS.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
E-Arena. Okay, well, we're adding the numbers.
Flash seems to have secured that one for themselves already, so they're going to rest easy. The challenge is not set for Team Flash, but I want to see some consistency from Flash, right? They have started things off a little slow here, just continuously looting up, not really backing away. But Farang, I have no idea what Alif is doing all alone. Like, I mean, when you go to a foreign country, you have to stick together with your friends, man. And Alif just doesn't get the message.
He's going to his friends.
Like, eventually, after 3 years.
Better than never. Some people never come back. You know?
That is true. That is true. Crusher from up top, and he will be able to spot Alpha in a couple of seconds. Let's see what pet he does have on him. Gatal alongside them as well. Dreki is going to be able to spot out any of those players when they use their medkit a little bit later on. But first off, they do need to get into an engagement, and it looks like it is going to happen eventually. Not something that they want to, of course, but they are going to get engaged in a couple of seconds, providing they do step out of this compound. But they're playing super sneaky and defensive right now.
Thankfully, the game slowed down a little bit because game 1, it really felt like there's not much time to breathe, right?
Yeah.
Teams are just going at each other's throats. UAV sent out, Not really sure where it was, but for Crusher, at least for Vastamundo, they're trying to go on a recon mission. So Crusher, he is basically the only guy sent out, trying to get more info. And I think it's not a bad move. If they see Alpha, then they will have that vantage point. Judging from the circle, though, I think Vastamundo will have to eventually move into Alpha. That's the story for the next phase. But for Evo's Phoenix, they have Golf Course. And they are also just taking it slow,
Vastamundo is just one of those teams that should never send out a solo player. They should play the way EVOS does, right? Always play that buddy system, always split up into duos, and then push on fourth.
Oh.
Unless you're God Cruz or Jonah. Jonah especially, who can handle these 1v10 situations and still walk out the winner. They're never going to do that to Moshi. He's always the backup player, the backup superstar, I have to say, who gets the deed done.
Yeah.
But with Farang hanging around outside of the circle, looks like the Malaysian team's done.
I mean, they gotta push it to Evo's Phoenix, right? It's not an easy task.
Yeah.
Not that they know it's Evo's Phoenix, but once the fight starts, I think they'll are gonna
find out soon.
They'll find out very, very soon. E-Arena, they're gonna run into Team Flash, I believe. And this one is going to be a big fight.
Already.
I'm telling you, man, these guys are just farming kills at this point. And those kills, they do make up for the lack of placement points. If you are E-Arena, the Alvaro cluster throwing out as well. Ripco only tagged just a little bit, but Team Flash, they're using all these glue walls to try to keep themselves safe. But E-Arena, this is what they do best. Shut up, he's pushing in already! Oh my goodness, Yanbin stood no chance. Why is Shut Up in the front? But Tating's gonna support him. With Yanbin already out of the picture, Team Flash can't hold on to this.
Ripgod with a backstab, but Orgus sees him, throws out a cluster. Ripgod, half his HP
my
down,
God.
bloody, bleeding out. BO's gonna happen to have the exact same fate as well. Ripgod, the final one, 1v2. Shut up,
Not
as well
again.
as Orgus. They just flood the space, and E-Arena snuffs out yet another squad. E-Arena, whatever they're having, sir, I'll order that right now.
Shut Up did it again, AJ. He did it again. This
I
guy,
think he was pissed after the first two team engagements. He was like, where's my elimination?
I tell you, this guy, he is whatever he had before today's matches. He is on something. He is on cloud 9. He is madman.
He has some green curry with a side of red curry. The guy's on fire.
Yeah, even in the trailer video, they did order a Thai hot pot or something, right? So it could be that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you saw all these utilities, right? E-Arena, this is a team that thrives in chaos. And Mishara, he ignored everything. He ran straight for Team Flash. 10 eliminations. They almost earned the worth of a booyah at this point.
I'm sorry, man. I totally spaced out. After I said green curry, all I can imagine is just having a good bowl of green curry, man. And you know what? For the first time, and I'm not kidding, for the first time in my life, I actually figured out there was something called yellow curry only after going to Thailand. And
I thought yellow curry is like your normal curry.
no,
But normal is
the yellow curry is different.
Right.
So they've got red curry,
Red
and then
curry.
they've got green curry, and then they've got yellow curry. And yellow curry is usually seafood. So whenever they have like, the crab claws and all, they've got yellow curry.
So the one that I had last year was actually yellow curry. And I didn't know. I thought it was normal curry.
Yes, you had the crab dish. Yes, I remember that.
But it was really nice. It was
It
really
was
nice. I went back for seconds.
Dude, the food in Thailand, I'm just in love, man.
Can you imagine, like,
Every single corner you turn on the street, you just buy whatever, even street vendors, the food is just fantastic.
I tell you how that dish was so nice that I went with the intention of exploring more street food.
Yeah.
But the last dish I had was that crab dish. it is really nice.
Farang having a little bit of tiff between themselves. So the bumper car action. Don't think that's the best of ideas, but they want to skirt around the outside of the circle. Let's see how this fares well for them in a little bit. A1 to 4 in the hands of Jumbo. They are obviously looking for that final circle combat. They want to play this as safe as possible. And with the looks of things, with 2 vehicles on them in Purgatory, it is going to fare them well. Unless, of course, they get caught in between 2 teams who blow the vehicle up. Because we kind of know exactly how that went for them on day number 1.
So I think Don't Cry revived 3 of his teammates, so they are going to drop in the circle, and Don't Cry will have to make that long rotation. But this late into the game, it's going to be a bit tough for PE Sports, right? You need to gather resources again. This is why you are seeing Nero go straight into the blue. They need to find as much as possible. Not so lucky if you are Nuke, because you are right in front of Evo's Phoenix, who are not messing around. But Evo's Phoenix also have to contend with Morph Team. Nuke, though, he's already receiving fire.
Farang circles around and they will be able to find a drop here. Boot James right in front. Is he going to strike just yet? Steps away from Mother Nature. That tree is not going to give him the defense anymore. And it looks like FW is all prepared to take on Team Farang. They quickly reposition first to use that compound as a good defensive spot before they do engage. Bunjame gets tagged up. It's going to be that Homer that shows his location, and Team Morph flies into the vicinity as well, but EVOS Phoenix will be able to keep an eye on them as New K gets downed and outed.
I wonder if Farang knows where the rest of FW are, because Bunjame could misdirect them, right? The rest of FW are holding that shack.
Yeah.
Farang, they're pushing further and further up the hill. This could be good news for FW to catch them off guard. Even Bunjame has already tucked himself at that watchtower. EVOS Phoenix, after dispatching of New K and seeing that the circle move inwards a bit more, are also starting to make their rotation, but they will run into Morph team.
I believe Team Farang will have a bit of that information, because you have to at least run one Arvon on your team. And you can pop him 3 times! Just like, oh, Jonah popped Mahal right in the face. Charge Buster. One good headshot puts the guy down on the ground, and Team Off quickly recovers the situation. They all back away with Mahal in hand, and they barricade the stairs, and they're all upstairs now. A couple of grenades can put the EVOS team out, and maybe they want to jump out of the window, but we will have to wait and see exactly what God Cruz does up there. He goes up and he blocks himself out with a glue wall.
Yeah, and he's trying to isolate this 1 versus 1 already now. Finally joins him. Moshi does get knocked down, but EVOS Phoenix have the numbers. Morph team did not stand a chance. Susanna blew himself out with a grenade launcher while he was getting pushed. That was kind of the start, the beginning of the end. But I gotta say, Jonah with that range and landing an instant knock with the Charge Buster, that took some serious skills.
I mean, it's EVOS Phoenix.
He landed a mid-range Charge Buster knock. You don't see that every day.
E-Arena circles around. 10 eliminations in hand. They might just make it 14. Alpha right in front of them at Fields. They've got a good defensive compound to work around with. And we've seen E-Arena in much more stickier situations that they've walked away the victors today. So this shouldn't be too much of an issue for them. Limit has got the M82 in hand. Let's see if or not he is going to be busting up a few of those vehicles, because Farang hasn't shown up just yet. But Alpha, keeping a close eye on them, but at the very same time, not making any aggressive maneuvers in front.
What was the record again? 32 points?
Yeah.
After a single round? Well, E-Arena might break it, and Don't Cry just got mowed down by God Cruz. PE Sports. Nero was trying to support his teammate. They do have one guy on the roof, but Moshi is going to keep Nero pinned down, and this bait and switch maneuver, New K not doing too well. He got revived and instantly got taken out by Bunjame again. FW Esports right in front of EVOS Phoenix. Whereas for Alpha, they will need to deal with E-Arena. This is crunch time.
Team EVOS Phoenix is on overdrive with their utilities. Their backpacks are just absolutely stuffed with so many items. Rotate, hey, good nade out. It's not going to connect. Glue wall melters will be dropped right in front. And Alpha! They lose 2 players back-to-back. E-Arena, finally, they start their onslaught. Jazaria, once again, the final survivor. What can this girl do? Can she fight back against E-Arena? Answers no, as E-Arena continues to pick up slay after slay. 14 eliminations, and they ain't slowing down just yet.
Yeah, first seed of Thailand, baby. Finally showing up big time on round number 2. Meanwhile, Vasto Mundo gotta take on Farang. They did get rid of Nunes, but Blazer 10 snipes Alif from afar. Farang running forward, going for the push. The glue off, they all fall. Jembao supporting with their RGS 50. Crushton does get knocked. And Jasper swings the corner. Vasto Mundo getting dispatched very quickly by Farang.
Farang finally making it towards the final circle, and it looks like they will be able to survive this time round. The plan is checking out. Nobody else within the vicinity. EVOS Phoenix between 2 teams. It's going to be FW as well as E-Arena sandwiching them in. That cluster is not going to connect just yet. Jonah turns around. He wants to handle E-Arena all on his own. Protete with the AC-80 from the right-hand side flank. Moshi backs away. And one more cluster comes on through, but it finds nobody.
And meanwhile, Protete, he's also dealing with Farang at the same time. EVOS Phoenix, how are they going to get out of this? Already gets knocked by the nade. All the glue wall melters will destroy all the glue walls that EVOS Phoenix had put up. They're somehow holding on. Moshi and Jonah, they turn their attention over to E-Arena. They gotta at least get rid of one flank, but it's not gonna be easy. EVOS Phoenix just couldn't pull it off. 16 kills for E-Arena. And Farang, they look like a juicy +3.
Let's see if or not they will be able to nail them down as well. Team Farang, earlier on they were blessed with no engagements whatsoever, but Alif just literally flew right into the hands of their opponents. And now Farang getting shot at left, right, center. Limit with that AWM is good. Sorry, M82 just penetrating all of those glue walls. That's exactly what you need this sniper for. And Pies gets down by Protete. Protete gets that elimination as well. Jump out puts in the next bullet, and Protete is the one that claims the final elimination. But Jesbu, can he survive? Circle's gonna tag him out. Protete says hell to the no with that 6th elimination. 19 already in hand, and FW just the next one.
4 versus 4. Look at E-Arena. So aggressive. Shut up once more. He's at the front before his team is there. Protete coming in from the right for the flank. Gimei Low looking for Shut Up. A 2-man collapse onto this absolute madman. Finally, Shut Up gets knocked down. Bunjin taking damage. Orgus can't help his teammate. Protete can still catch a big flank. Limit trying to help out his team, but the front line is collapsing really fast. Protete needs to go absolutely big as Limit is going to get pushed. Protete finds the knock onto Aloncorn, but FW, they're going straight for Limit. The nade comes through, blocked by the glue wall. Protete gets down. FW looking for the booyah, and they have found it. A hard-fought win. But E-Arena, 20 kills, AJ.
Almost broke the record. FW said hell to the no with their second booyah of the group stages. Very well played. Earlier on, they could have engaged with Team Farang, but they decided to stay silent. They allowed Team E-Arena to get everything done, to pick up all of those stragglers, to get those shots, to get those eliminations as well. All in the meantime, just protecting themselves, staying out of trouble for this one opportune moment, and they cashed in well.
And this is the team that is very adamant to take down EVO's Phoenix. They even said, EVO's Phoenix, if we meet you at Arsenal, we will beat you to a pulp. Well, they haven't gotten a chance yet, but they sure as heck put their name on that leaderboard. They started the day in, what, 5th place? I think FW, they're going to continue to soar up the standings. But I would say, as much as, you know, FW got the booyah, I think E-Arena stole a lot of their limelight with just how aggressive they were this round.
Let's see if for not team First Raiders Eclipse will be able to bounce back. 2 rounds in a row now. They've unfortunately crashed and burned, all because of E-Arena, the one team that has just turned their performance around 180 degrees, absolutely mauling every single team towards that final circle.
I am in absolute disbelief with how much E-Arena has achieved within 1 week, right? The amount of teams that they mow through. Who did they go through again? First Raiders Eclipse. They had to go through Flash, Alpha. They dealt with Farang. They dealt with EVO's Phoenix. And they fell in the hands of FW because FW just had a better position to start it off. But it didn't stop them from all these aggressive movements, right? I talked about Shut Up. And you see how this guy was just rushing into his enemies. But it's that aggression that has been catching a lot of these off guard, all of these teams off guard, and allowing E-Arena to cash in on kills.
Yeah, unfortunately, we haven't been able to see exactly what the setup is like for E-Arena, but hopefully we will be able to see a little bit more of their strategy. In terms of what FW was able to kind of execute towards the very end there was just phenomenal in terms of setup, right? They managed to play it as safe as possible down to the very end, and that's something you don't usually see because teams do get tempted, especially when you see knock after knock out there on the battlefield. They did not prey on EVO's Phoenix, they did not prey on Farang, they just allowed E-Arena to do all of the nitpicking. And I'm just a little curious as to why was that so, because they had that fair opportunity to pick up more points.
I think what happened was that they were initially really pressuring EVO's Phoenix, and the E-Arena showed up, and EVO's Phoenix had to make a decision, right?
Yeah.
EVO's Phoenix ran into E-Arena. I think that cut off the line of sight from FW. So FW were like, well, we can't get the kills. We will just wait for whoever comes to us. Overall, it's just kind of the price you pay for playing safe, but I'm not going to blame FW, right? Yeah. They already are doing very well. And I would say that the first 2 rounds have been a very, very explosive FW Esports with the booyah, 9 eliminations. Again, just like Team Flash on round 1, a byproduct of a slower approach in the final phase.
Bunjin picking up 4 eliminations as well as the MVP title. Truly well deserved with 1,349 damage. But surprisingly enough, 0 rescues on the side of FW. They've just been so concise in terms of moving towards that final circle in such a safe manner, only taking those eliminations and those sure win gunfights against some of these other teams. And a triple homer setup allows them to do exactly that.
On Purgatory as well, AJ, it's
Yeah.
a huge and open map. Normally you see this on Xterra, but for FW, running triple homers is a very, very bold move because they don't really have much defensive capability as an active skill. You only have Steffi, but then you look at the other characters that they brought in. You have the Capella with you have the double J beeps. So it is still something on top of the extreme offensive capabilities that the team has.
The double R1 as well that gives you all of that extra bit of information. I mean, R1 plus you bring in Homer, the amount of info you get on the positioning of your opponents and the capability to stop them dead in their tracks just makes FW such a lethal team, but they did not use that for the offensive. They in fact used all of that data for the defensive to secure this booyah for themselves, which is a perfect strategy as well.
I think the beauty about information in a game of Free Fire is you get to make decisions without putting yourself in danger, right?
Yeah.
And in this case, sure, we have tools that allow us to go on the offense, but what if we can just stay back and get these 3 kills?
Yeah.
Trogon now on the top of the list. For the very first time, we see Trogon even be a popular weapon. And it has been a sleeping beast in week 1.
I'm actually surprised to see it here because a lot of people have been abusing this gun. And the main reason why they abuse this gun is because, I mean, dude, you've got a shotgun that can double up as a launcher as well. But this gun also might not be the favorite of some players who forget to change the mode of the gun. Because when you're stuck in launcher mode and then you end up in a gunfight, to switch on back to a shotgun is going to take a while. But it is an auto shotgun at the end of the day, so it's the new and improved Mag 7.
It definitely is. In the arena, 28 points to take the first place. And that's without a booyah. You look at FW Esports, they only got 21. 19 total eliminations. I think that speaks for itself. No one else comes even close.
E-Arena got more eliminations than EVOS Phoenix picked up in a single round with a combination of elimination as well as placement points. That is just a little ridiculous looking at how E-Arena was like literally out of the competition when we started off week 1.
You think about this, FW got 21 points in that round.
Yeah.
E-Arena are just 2 kills away from matching with that. That is how crazy it has been. So they currently sit in the first place with 39 total points off of 2 rounds. That's almost an average of 20 points per round. Massive, massive improvement from week number 1. But FW Esports are also close, right? They had a good Bermuda and Purgatory game, so they have 34 points. And you look at the third place team, Team Flash, they are 13 points away.
LGDS needs to step it up because with E-Arena doing so well in this round, they for sure secure the top 12 for themselves
100%.
in the overall leaderboard. And guess who was in the 12th spot? LGDS. Today hasn't been a great day so far. So if they needed a wake-up call, this is that wake-up call.
Yeah, they definitely need to kind of formulate something, right? Because LGDS, they were doing very well. More than 100 points on the first week. 4 more rounds for LGDS to make a comeback. A lot of these teams have shown what they're capable of. We'll take a short break. We'll come back to Alpine for game number 3 of the group stage.
Team mình cần phải chủ động và mạnh dạn hơn trong các pha chạm tranh và team mình sẽ luyện tập nhiều hơn để làm được điều đó.
ฝากถึงทีมแฟดนะครับ เห็นวิกที่แล้วมั่นใจ ตอนนี้ยังมั่นใจอยู่หรือเปล่าครับ
Mình nghĩ team mình cần cải thiện tâm lý tốt hơn để chuẩn bị cho tuần thi đấu tiếp theo.
วีคที่ผ่านมาผมคิดว่าทีมผมทำได้ดีอยู่แล้วครับ แล้ววีคต่อไปผมมีแผนที่จะทำให้ดีกว่าเดิมครับ
Một vài lời muốn gửi tới tuyển thủ Nốt là kỹ năng của bạn thật tuyệt và hy vọng rằng chúng ta sẽ gặp nhau và đối đầu ở tuần tiếp theo.
Checking it down a little bit because Team Flash are in danger. The reigning world champ is coming through. Yanbin is dropping low. Doesn't have much help left, and Team Flash are out.
ทีมแฟด
Why you so easy?
There's something in his eyes. There's a storm within, but it's written in the skies. Let it break me till it's side. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me Nothing's gonna stop me. No one will ever get left behind. A million more before I've tried. Let it break me till it's over. Let it shake me, no. Let it make me go under. Let it make me go under. So now it's time.
Welcome back to the arena of FreeFire SEA Invitational 2023, week 2 of group stage. But this is not just any ordinary arena, it is E-Arena because the first 2 rounds have been explosive. My name is Sasuke and alongside me is the mustachio AJ, and we're witnessing our childhood fairy tale, the tortoise and the hare, but right now we are only looking at the hare.
I don't know if or not this fairy tale is gonna last for much longer because there are other teams who are vying for the top spot. E-Arena has kicked it into high gear, but do they have enough gasoline to get to the very end point in high gear? Because as far as remember, the hare kind of started off quick and then fell asleep and then kind of, fortunately slowed down. E-Arena started off slow and then picked up pace. I don't know where this is gonna end.
This one is a remaster version. They slept in the entire weekend. So I hope they have enough gas to pull through their final 12 rounds in the group stage, because I think with that performance alone, they have at least guaranteed themselves top 12 in the current overall standings. Now it's just to stay there.
And I think they can stay there because if you can pick up 19 eliminations in a single round and still get into that final circle, absolutely undeterred by some of these other squads, even teams like EVOS Phoenix, you stand a high chance. Speaking of EVOS Phoenix, they are the ones that we want to look out for. A 67% top 3 rate as far as Alpine is concerned, followed by Morph Team as well as FW, who have that 50% top 3 rate accordingly.
Very, very excited to see Alpine because I think so far Alpine has, ironically, become the most balanced distributed map in terms of Booyah. We thought Nextera is going to be that one, but Nextera is now more of a skill check. It's more of a halfway point, are you still consistent kind of map. But for Alpine, all gloves are off. EVOS Phoenix for the first 2 rounds not doing too well. Second round not the worst, but now let's see if they have finally woken up.
This is the true litmus test as to how much E-Arena has improved from week 1 into week 2. Because the last time we saw them complete these runs on Alpine, they picked up a total of, drumroll please, 2 points last week.
What?
Yeah, 2 points.
So they played Alpine twice and got 2 points?
Yeah, 2 points. But that's why this is the litmus test, right? Because they absolutely bomb out on this map. But if they do rise up and end up in that final circle, we can tell E-Arena's not just ready to rock, that they are ready to roll.
So if they get more than 2 kills this map, we're gonna celebrate, okay?
No. I am. They need to keep up with the first 2 games.
No, it's called progress. Baby steps.
Nah, I mean, okay, if you want to put it that way, the first 2 games were not baby steps in comparison to week 1. So I want to see that kind of progress. 10 kills minimum.
Yeah, they've gotten more than half a point. We'll keep that off for now because New K just found Gimelo. That's FW Esports losing initial member. New K getting a snipe. Actually, New K getting cleaved in half by the katana.
Alongkon!
Still pretty safe. I mean, Don't Cry trying to provide some help, but New K, he's stranded out in the open.
So surprisingly, New K has not been taken out of the equation just yet, but as I say it, Alongkon finishes him off. What a whip from the katana, and Alongkon now just spotting out Don't Cry, who is trying to tag him up. is very successful in doing so as well. But with the M1014 in hand, the boy can't do anything but run.
I saw one of the members from E-Arena get taken out by First Raiders Eclipse. They are fighting again. If you're First Raiders Eclipse, you're not happy. 2 maps in a row, you get wiped out by the same team in the same manner. You gotta feel angry about that. Alpha, on the other hand, while receiving some fire from Farang, Rima is gonna be hiding behind that wall for now. But Alpha, they have a full team, and these 2 teams, they do have a revival point that they can contest.
If you're Malaysian, you're definitely excited to see Farang finally wake up in the competition. What a beautiful time turner pulled up by Shut Up. Manages to get the tag in and does not get any damage sent his way at all. E-Arena with Shut Up super low on HP. He will be able to recover. In the meantime, Protete just trying to keep that suppressive fire on the rest of the players from the side of First Raiders. But First Raiders are determined to get this revenge. And if they are successful, the horrible run at Alpine will continue for E-Arena.
Yeah, good flank from Darko. They get rid of Potato, but they did lose Lozzy in the meantime. So this is still a very winnable fight for E-Arena. 2 versus 3. Shut Up getting completely suppressed by Souza, but Limit is going to be there on the bridge as well. So if you are First Raiders Eclipse, if you can get rid of Limit, that would be great. Darko did buy Lozzy back. And Lozzy, he has plenty of time to drop down and provide backup. E-Arena doesn't have the same luxury.
North takes that high ground, and this is perfect because he will be able to see Limit try to back away, but Limit has got the Woodpecker in hand, the better weapon in terms of this sort of a range to kind of deal with the firepower of First Raiders. Alpha does manage to take Fires out, and this is a match that Team Farang just can deal with, but they refuse to deal with. They're backing away ever so slowly. They want to survive till that final circle. I don't agree with the decision being made. In a spot like this, you have to take the fight, Husky.
And Limit down Souza off screen as well, so this could be a turnaround for E-Arena. And remind us, get the boost. Alpha rushing over to Farang, and it seems like Farang, they're playing to not lose, while Alpha is playing to win. And this 4 versus 3 push could prove fatal for Farang. They're gonna come triple stack around the corner, absolutely catching Jesbu off guard. And Jembao, he's gonna be sent on the run, but there's not much space to work with. Alpha might get the wipe.
Usually when you see a team backing away, you expect them to set up a counter, but there was no counter set up this time around. Team Farang, they've lost out all of their players, and I believe someone is still alive and kicking, but we just don't see him on screen. And E-Arena continues to survive as well. What a fantastic play by Shut Up. From almost getting knocked out, from almost getting taken out, he's the one reviving Team E-Arena.
So both E-Arena and First Raiders Eclipse, they kind of go back to a stalemate, but for FR, they did get the better end of that trade. They only had to revive Lozzy. They got 3 kills off of that, so majority of their equipment is still with them. But for EA, this is one of the rounds where they are forced to slow down.
And it is their worst map in terms of performance, so we understand exactly why they are struggling. But it's all about that improvement in week number 2, and EVOS Phoenix just storms the front of LGDS. Bruce fully tagged up already, 30% HP left in hand, backs away. Jonah with the left-hand flank. Woodpecker tries to search up for one player, does not find anyone through those maze of glue walls already. He has got the M1887, but finds no player. Strogon in the hands of Jonah. One more tag, and Yuan still survives that.
Roro actually takes out God Cruise, but Moshi instantly comes in for the trade. So LGDS have no time to recover. Yuan forced to put up the glue wall to barricade, to block out this doorway, but it's coming out the other side right into Already. And Already was there waiting for him. LGDS to no chance.
EVOS Phoenix just ran into them and continues to run through them towards their next location. Nothing to fear at all when you are the most lethal team out there on the battlefield. Albeit not really shown within the first 2 matches, EVOS Phoenix trying to rise back up for an aggressive final circle a little bit later on. And I was actually surprised that EVOS Phoenix even did not get that booyah in the game number 2, right? Because they were super stacked as far as their utilities were concerned. It's like they were going compound to compound to compound, finding full spots where they could loot up.
I think the downfall was just they were caught out in the open, right?
Yes.
Sometimes those positions...
Between 2 teams.
Between 2 teams, 2 Thai teams.
Yeah.
2 teams that really want them gone. It's not easy dealing with your enemies like that, you know? The enemy of my enemy is my enemy. Something like that.
No, the enemy of my enemy is my best friend.
The enemy of my enemy... Oh, right. The enemy of my enemy is my best friend.
Yeah,
I think
because if the enemy of my enemy is my enemy as well, then...
Then it's a 3-way fight.
Yeah. So, wasn't that case. And obviously, the champions, or the two-time champions.
Oh.
Not pleased with that at all, but Vasto Mundo now finally showing up against E Arena, who have been showing up all day, all night. Protege, one quick knock is gonna come out through. Shut Up goes down as well, and it's Vasto Mundo doing a number on E Arena. Orgus backs away. Protege back up on his feet. Crusher cannot get those tags with that AC-80. They will need to try again, but in the meantime, they patch themselves up.
Yeah, they finally punished Shut Up for his aggression. And with Shut Up gone, it's a 4 versus 3. Plays to 10, dropping low. Luca getting Orgus, Protege falls. Oh, Vasto Mundo finally coming alive in this Alpine map and limit. They're gone. Vasto Mundo of all teams to make it happen.
The Alpine curse continues. And unfortunately for E Arena, they will need to make a good comeback at Nextera, where they do not struggle as much.
Don't worry, they already got 1 point. So they have one more chance tomorrow. On Sunday. I believe.
What a low bar to set for
Actually,
yourself
tomorrow.
just to break, right? But I don't want to see just 2 points doing better than last week. Yanbin has an opportunity here, but it's against EVOS Phoenix already with a left-hand side flank. Yanbin's going to barricade himself up with the glue walls just first and already backs away. He has got a long-range shotgun, but Jonah out of nowhere takes him down with a headshot.
Ripgod gets an exchange onto Moshi, so it do stop that for a while. Jonah gets down as well, already doing his best to patch himself back up, but I think he needs to try and get away from this situation. There's no one there that can help him. Jonah is already eliminated, Moshi down on the ground. The big problem is that there's no way out. Already stuck in a 1 versus 4 against Team Flash, their mortal enemy in this group stage.
Now we get to see whether or not already is
Okay.
capable, and he gets the first one. Good headshot onto Ripgod. Needs to go up against 2 players. A fantastic glue wall erected for his right for the defense. Goes straight in for Bloody, but that's the wrong decision made, as Team Flash still has got Yanbin right beside him, who he did nothing about.
Oh, they asked Team Flash to hurry up, and they made it quick and painless.
And dude, this is like 2 out of 2 where they encounter each other, and Team Flash has gotten the win over them. So I don't know, EVOS. Might be high time you tell Jonah to bay, bro, calm down, bro.
That's what I've been saying, but you say no. We gotta keep Jonah, let him
Jonah
talk,
needs to train everybody else, because that's the kind of drama we need in FFSI.
I mean, he didn't.
All of the other tournaments.
He didn't train the Team Flash guys, because the Team Flash guys were like, all right, you win. We'll see you next week. You guys are really good, and wipe them 2 times in a row.
You know how we've got color casters and play-by-play.
Right.
Teams have got different styles. I mean, Team EVOS Phoenix, they love to talk. Team Flash, they absolutely love to walk.
They did. They walked over EVOS Phoenix twice.
Stomped over them.
Sure. Not really a stomp, but good enough. Dominant enough. Okay, I'll give him that.
Dominant walk equals stomp.
I feel like you have to. Okay, they jogged over EVOS Phoenix. Okay. They have to convince us
At
with the
least
overall
they didn't trip
standing.
over them. Okay, that's all I'm concerned about.
It does put them closer to EVOS Phoenix. I think that's the good thing. That's the good news for Team Flash, which, again, I had pretty high expectations coming into FFSI. I think that they are showing it just a bit more.
First Raiders are so pleased that E Arena is out of this round already, because now at least they have a chance to make it to that final circle.
They finally get to play FreeFire.
Yeah.
I think the combined play time for both rounds is probably...
Less than 5.
Yeah, I was about to say that, less than 5.
First Raiders now already in the 10th minute. Jumping for joy. As long as E Arena's not a part of this equation, they are going to be able to play longer games. But 35 more seconds for the circle to pressure everyone. And I really like the pace of movement from Team Flash. They have always been ahead of that circle by a couple of steps.
And I believe what Bale said in the quote-unquote roast video, or the interview video, was that he wants his team to be a bit more aggressive, right? Take more initiatives. I think they're doing just that. And it's a weird thing to see out of Team Flash, because this is a very strategic team, very tactical with their movements. But when you demand them to move faster, they can actually do it.
Yep.
And Bloody, he's already gone off to a good start. Taking Jenbao's head off. That's Farang losing their member again.
And it looks like Faiz and Alif might just get taken out of this equation as well. Bloody has got a very, very stable gun in his hands, the M82B, that can penetrate through those glue walls as well. Team Flash keeps up that pressure against Vasto Mundo. Vasto Mundo leading this particular pack with the most number of eliminations. I never thought I would ever say that.
Yeah, Luca getting knocked down by Yenbin as well, sniping them through the bridge. Blazer 10, your back is turned, be careful. But Team Flash have a second team that they need to worry about. PE Sports from behind. Bloody now finds himself in a pinch. They need to try and push Vastomundo out of this area to gain some cover. They do have control of the circle, but PE Sports, they're deeper in. Vastomundo looking to push through.
Vasto, they will be able to quickly recover, but Lucas really low on that HP. He needs to patch himself right back up before getting into a couple of more of these engagements that RGS in the hands of Bio might just be a one quick grenade away from the end of Vastomundo. He tosses a quick grenade towards the right and a nade towards the left as well. No glue wall smelt is being presented by Bio just yet. 7 more grenades to work with. All of them goes to waste. And from afar, it is Bloody with the M82B. A headshot onto Nunes. And now this grenade could do a number on them. And Nunes still protected.
Yeah, Bloody has been getting these crucial shots. That is what Team Flash needs. Vastomundo putting up basically an entire wall of glue wall, but Blazer gets sniped by Ripgod from afar. I mean, Vastomundo, they just could not decide where they should head towards. Crusher stuck under the bridge. Nunes is way too far away from cover. And Team Flash, they're willing to stick around to pick up the remaining kills, but they're gonna get pressured by PE Sports, who are gonna get pressured by Alpha.
One would think that Bio was wasting all of those grenades, but those grenades were perfect in terms of just making sure his opponents did not make that approach to counterattack his team members, and that just worked out perfectly fine. Vastomundo had to back away from that fight, and now they are at risk of being eliminated by the circle. Nuke, fantastic headshot, and Ma'al takes out Zarya from Team Alpha. Team Flash circles around yet again, and Vastomundo really wants to take this engagement against them. Bloody does go down. Crusher gets that with the M1014, but Bio quickly trades him right back out. Vastomundo, your time might just be over because now you're stuck between Morph and Flash.
And PE. And Alpha, who are rushing straight into PE. This is the aggression I want to see. DNP against G18. Who's going to win this? Narrow with the Trogon taking down one. DNP getting G18. PE Sports still going strong. Ice Grenade is going to be there. DNP is down. But Alpha, they are on their last legs at this point. And with FW showing up, FR is over there. I mean, these two, they're going to take on each other. Gimelo is going to get knocked. North trying to find safety as Vastomundo gets taken out. But first phase Eclipse, they're losing health as well. Darko is in the red. Souza also low. They bring North back up.
9 fans. Single player, Drogon in hand. He manages to pop one. Can he pop yet another? 61 HP left in here, and he does manage to get the second player as well in the name of Darko, but Souza saves his team. A 1v3 could have gone great for him. All thanks to Souza, they survived, but outside of the circle, can they patch themselves back up in time? No knocks coming through from the circle on our kill feed, so Team Flash will do absolutely fine alongside First Raiders with Morph, the healthiest one in the final circle.
They are, again, in one of the best positions to get the booyah. Yenmi just gets his skull blown up by Susanna from afar. I mean, this Indonesian squad, 4th seed, I believe, from the region, just completely tearing up a storm at this point. Ripgod also gets claimed. Team Flash down to their final member. Versus Eclipse show up, and this is going to be very dangerous. North is going to play from long range, but they need to be able to take out members of Morph Team from afar. And Morph Team, they're not going to wait, AJ. They're running straight into FR.
Will Morph be able to claim their third booyah kill? Fantastic Riptide rhythm! And Souza goes down. Nate sorts him out. Ma'al, what a fantastic attack with that car. And now 2 more players on the side of First Raiders. Darko losing his HP outside of the circle, and looks like North is going to be the final player that they're all going to depend on. And the moment Darko tops his health right back up, he gets put down onto the ground. North outside of the circle, and this looks like it's all going to be over as Morph secures their third booyah of the group stage.
How much did Morph Team pay the circle? Because they have read the circle 2 rounds in a row. But in all seriousness, it's another game where Morph Team have low kill count, but they get the booyah. Kind of farming those 12 juicy points from the round win. At the end of the day, I think they are obviously very happy with the performance. I mean, we said, Indonesia is the second team closest to taking down the region of Thailand. We saw all these close videos, the rivalry. It seemed to set between Vietnam and Thailand, but let me introduce you a third character. It's Indonesia.
12 points in Bermuda, 6 points in Purgatory, and absolutely topping the charts here with the final game with Booyah in hand. Just the Booyah alone has been able to outperform the full round score within Bermuda. So I think Morph is going to be absolutely delighted with that. But things all started between FW as well as PE. And also E-Arena, we talked about how last week, over the course of 2 days of play, they only picked up 2 measly points from Alpine. And the curse of Alpine continues for E-Arena.
Don't worry, they have tomorrow to make up for that one extra point that they need. They picked up 1 point, okay? It's not the worst.
Unless the absolute random map is Alpine as well.
Yeah,
they could get a booyah. I don't know.
That is true. But in the grand scheme of things, you know, having one poor map for E-Arena isn't the worst, right? Because on the first 2 maps, they were tearing up a storm.
Yeah.
It's good that they are also getting kind of put in their place. You need to check yourself because E-Arena, it kind of felt like they are running into overdrive, especially shout out this guy was just off the leash. So now it gives them a bit more time to think about the approach going into next era.
And if you want to be able to be the champion, you have to make sure you don't have these weak maps. But thankfully, due to the setup for FFSI, it's not a single day grand finals where one map might make the world of difference. We've got 3 days of play. But you never know, man. We've got so many good teams. It could just come back down to that one game. And then we bring it into the randomizer. We head on into Alpine. And E-Arena sits down crying behind. I don't know. I don't want that to happen to them.
I'm already happy that we have more days in group stage and finals. I think that itself is... Yes. Can you imagine if we are running with the old format? You know who would have won the whole thing?
Tell me.
Not EVOS Phoenix. First Raiders Eclipse would have won the whole thing.
Absolutely right. And of course, if this was the play-ins, First Raiders would be in. And grand finals, I highly doubt EVOS Phoenix will not show up. But of course, I hope to see this exact same format at the FreeFire World Series as well. Can you imagine what sort of chaos we would have on the world stage with a format like this?
Yeah, my hopes are up. My hopes are very high. I would say if this Invitational is already running this format, there's a high chance we get the same format for the World Series. You know? That will have to wait until the end of the year. I hope that happens.
Yes.
It would be a great birthday present for me.
It would be. I mean, and if you do get there, it's 2 birthdays celebrated on the FreeFire World stage, right? That'll be quite fun, man. But of course, let's take a look at the Booyah team stats so that we can see exactly how these guys rose to the top. Dude, the most concise player in the whole of the competition thus far has to be Ambot. 185 damage, 2 eliminations to his name. Ma'al has 1,255 with 2 eliminations.
He is just the better stealer. You know, he's stealing all these kills away from people. He's letting them do the dirty work. He knows how to work efficient.
That's the kind of employee which I don't know if I want or I don't want, right?
You do.
I don't know.
You get the job done with the same quality with lesser effort and using lesser time.
Let's look at the setup here. Skylar, A124, Steffi to protect them from all of those nades, which we know is popping off in the current season. But with the A124 being run, not many players prefer to run the A124 because of the range of efficacy that you can get out of this active skill. But Ambot is just a guy who does not care. And clearly it works for him.
Yeah, and in that final engage where they were just running straight at FR, suddenly A124 becomes such a good character. With MVP, it is Ma'al himself. Once more, we see the car, 98. I mean, another time. This weapon is rising in popularity, coincidentally.
And it is going to be the Awakened Moko as well as the Maro that is being run for him in terms of these passive skills, as well as the combination of Capella. That's a little bit surprising. So he is very aggressive out of there. And he's got that extra bit of beefing up from all of his healing as well, which actually makes Ma'al one of the better aggressive players out there. Because when you do patch yourself up and you've got Capella there, you've got the increased effects of healing by items by 20%. So that's super decent if you ask me.
I'm happy to see the Trogon getting more recognition right now. Just the top one again, making it into the top 2 weapon. We also have the Woodpecker and the AC-80, the 2 Swiss Army knife on the list. Today there has been a lot of Trogon. There has been a lot of... I saw some mini Uzis. I saw some RGS-50. In fact, I'm not seeing as much sniper rifles today.
What I love about the current meta is the fact that we are seeing so many different types of guns out there and not just a single category or a single weapon that is just playing mastery round after round, right? There used to be times where we just used to see that one exact gun. But let's take a look at the performance of these teams as well. 12 eliminations and 8 placement points gives Team Flash 20. Even though they do not strike that booyah, they do end up in that number 1 spot. 12 placement points for Morph Team alongside 6 eliminations only gives them 18. And First Raiders Eclipse keeping close behind them. But look at Vasto Mundo, bro. They have been slowly but surely rising up the leaderboard. And I have got great hopes for this team.
It is definitely not done just yet for Vasto Mundo. In fact, you look at the 2 teams at the bottom, Vasto Mundo is 13 points ahead of LGDS. That is good small steps for this team. But FW Esports now currently in first place, 44 points. You have Team Flash tied with E-Arena, and that's because E-Arena got taken out by Vasto Mundo of all teams on Alpine.
First Raiders on the 8th spot, but we understand why. 2 back-to-back rounds, E-Arena was alive and therefore they couldn't pick up points. Third round, where they finally did manage to pick up points, that was mainly because E-Arena just cannot play on Alpine. And when I say cannot play, I mean they really cannot exist on Alpine at all.
They struggle on Alpine.
They can't play Alpine.
They struggle. They struggle very hard.
Yeah, too hard.
Too hard. So they need one more point to make up for the same even point that they got last week. Nextera is coming back up. We're gonna head to a short break. When we come back, it's all the way to Nextera for round number 4 and see what these teams have in store.
Team mình cần phải chủ động và mạnh dạn hơn trong các pha chạm tranh, và team mình sẽ luyện tập nhiều hơn để làm được điều đó.
ฝากถึงทีมแฟดนะครับเห็นวิกที่แล้วมั่นใจตอนนี้ยังมั่นใจอยู่หรือเปล่าครับ
Mình nghĩ team mình cần cải thiện tâm lý tốt hơn để chuẩn bị cho tuần thi đấu tiếp theo.
วีคที่ผ่านมาผมคิดว่าทีมผมทำได้ดีอยู่แล้วครับแล้ววีคต่อไปผมมีแผนที่จะทำให้ดีกว่าเดิมครับ
Một vài lời muốn gửi tới tuyển thủ Nốt là kỹ năng của bạn thật tuyệt và hy vọng rằng chúng ta sẽ gặp nhau và đối đầu ở tuần tiếp theo.
Little bit because Team Flash are in danger. The Radiant World Champ is coming through. Yanbin is dropping low. Doesn't have much help left, and Team Flash are out.
ทีมแฟด
Why you so easy?
There's something in his eyes. There's a storm within, but it's written in the sky. Let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Won't let it make me go under. Won't let it make me go under. So now it's time die. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me. No one will ever get left behind. A million more before I've tried. Won't let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Let it make me go under. Let it make me go under. So now it's time.
Fire.
Light your fire up. That's exactly what some of the teams are doing there to make sure they do not get relegated by the end of the group stage at FFSI 2023. My name's AJ. I'm the Mustachio down here with Husky, your casters for the day. All 3 matches, 3 different winners. But E-Arena that started off so hot kind of got their fire snuffed out. Maybe they'll reignite it right here in Dexterra.
I hope that's the case, and this confirms one thing about E-Arena.
Tell me.
No, it's not that they're not consistent on Alpine. Everyone knows that. We know that this
They are consistent on Alpine.
consistently 1 point, okay? What has been confirmed is that the breed of hair is they're definitely not snow hares, not snow bunnies. 100%. Can't deal with the cold.
Ah, right. Okay, I totally got that. But it took me a while. But maybe because they hibernate in the cold. Do bunnies hibernate?
Do bunnies hibernate? Good question. Maybe some do.
I think they do. Do they?
Some
Some?
species, I guess.
I have seen a bunny hopping through the snow, so I guess they don't.
Maybe that's a different breed.
This E-Arena, this bunny team does.
No, they can't. They
can't?
they can't do it in the snow. Are we on different wavelengths? Well, we'll fix that in a bit. Next era coming up. Team Flash with
Wow.
100% top 3 rate. The team to look out for today. Not just on the
Yep.
Xterra, but overall, for sure. You know, they've been really hounding on Evo's Phoenix.
Yeah.
And more team also secretly showing their presence. 3rd seed from Indonesia, getting their booyah just now. But in the same fashion as Team Flash and FW Esports earlier on, where it's them taking the circle and, you know, getting the booyah, but with lower amounts of kills.
And for EVOS, these teams to look out works in 2 ways right now. Number 1, we gotta look out for them. And number 2, they gotta look out for Team Flash.
I love it. I love how E-Arena is looking at first rate as Eclipse, the Evo's Phoenix is looking at Team Flash, and the FW Esports is looking at Evo's Phoenix. Now we got a hexagonal relationship going on, which is kind of the shape of Nextera if you think about it. I hope I got it right. Well, not really, but it's a...
It's the first time in my life I've ever heard anyone talk about a hexagonal relationship.
Times have changed, AJ.
A triangle, yeah.
Yeah?
A square... Not even a square, no.
No, it's always a 3-way, right? It's always like a 3-way
Not
relationship.
even a pentagon.
No, I haven't experienced myself either, thank goodness.
Get high, gets in, God Cruise, gets lost. Unfortunately for EVOS Phoenix, we will not be able to see the shot caller play this, but this is not the first time we are seeing him get subbed out in replacement for Get High. But it looks like EVOS Phoenix is going to have their hands full as they land in Museum. I guess they are looking to pick up a few artworks as well as kill points.
Go hunting for the artifacts also. I mean, the artifact that they are going to find, actually living and reading, is more team.
Ooh.
And those two, they're going to start fighting each other. EVO's Phoenix, they do lose one member. Meanwhile, on the other end, FW
Wow.
coming in to take out Farang. Aloncorn and Kimeno both on the ground, but Farang have no way to secure them.
Farang, I did see a player try to rotate towards them and maybe get this backstab, but the moment he saw his team member get snuffed out, he made a quick U-turn. Alpha is within the vicinity as well, but whoever you are from the side of Team Alpha, do not make a sound. Gatal all alone. Zarya a little bit too far away to save him. Zarya needs to back away, but Boon James already rotating towards Gatal. 9 fan on the left-hand side, Boon James on the right. Gatal's in a lot of trouble, and Evol's Phoenix on the other hand. Jonah does manage to sort out Ma'al. A good response, and Jonah continues the 1v2. This monster cannot be stopped.
Incredible movements from Jonah around the corner also. Susanna didn't have.
Look at him.
I mean, Susanna didn't have the best gun because he only had double revolver. Amport also having the same arsenal. Not the best in these situations. Double revolver, not the highest fire rate, but it does do considerable amount of damage. Jonah again around the corner looking for Amport. This time, double revolver not working out. Jonah just wiping the entirety of Moim. And yes, he does. Quad kill for Jonah.
This is the problem when Jonah's alive. The guy knows exactly how to play a clutch. LGDS on the other hand, trying to aim for the heads of FW. A 3v2 now. Boon James, and look at how daring this push is from Bruce. And he does manage to get 9 fan down on the ground. Boon James, final survivor, turns the tables onto Bruce. But as the final survivor, can he continue to slay them? AUG in hand. A good grenade cannot be worked here. He has got nothing. 3 players on for the storm. And this is the end of FW.
LGDS getting the wipe on the FW as well. That will slow down their pace on the overall leaderboard. Farang is near LGDS. They just lost Bruce and they have no way to bring him back. Unfortunately, there is a recon member from PE Sports nearby. With Farang on the high ground, who are getting pressured by First Raiders Eclipse.
Team Alpha did not really pay a high price earlier on. They did lose Gatal, but very quickly revived here. Lozzy up in the air. AC-80, but no angle vertically whatsoever. He will need to just play his time, but Jazaria has already backed away pretty far and is going to try to take him off of his perch here. Let's see if or not she does have what it takes. Lozzy with the AC-80 tags her up. One more shot can put Jazaria out of the equation here as she stops to heal herself.
How did Lozzy end up there? That is the biggest question. The rest of FR are not even around, so I would say that Lozzy's job, get info and try to get as much kills as possible. Lozzy bringing in the rest of the cavalry, and he has a chance to drop down and ambush Alpha. Alpha just basically hugging on the southern side of the billboard right now. But the FR have a lot of control over those drylands.
Darkall with the M82B has got the Moko. And you know exactly what he is trying to get. Just that one clip is going to be marking these players up.
Soja hurt himself with the RGS 50. We caught that in 4K finally. So he's going to heal himself back out first. And the nade did come in from long range from Alpha. They are stuck behind the billboard, but they do have this arsenal to protect them.
First Raiders shot up to shot, but Alpha is just playing perfect defense at the moment, but G18 gets caught out. Souza with a left-hand side flank, and that's the perfect one. Jazaria remind, both backs away, and they put a quick campfire here. They want to see if or not they can dance around the team of First Raiders for a little while more. Glue wall melters will take down their defenses, and the timing is perfect as Lozzy takes the attack from the back. Trogon in hand. Hey, double Trogon maneuver coming through from the First Raiders now, but those glue walls are erected once again that they are trying to bust through.
They were able to bring G18 back, so G18 is going to fly far away to save his team. Souza and Lozzy both get knocked down. Alpha might have a chance. Grenade launcher in hand. Myra with the charge buster switches the gun, runs into North, loses that fight. As First Raiders Eclipse, they are able to survive this one. But Alpha, they still have one more member who is trying to hit to safety. But North is looking for it. North sees him. G18 on the roof.
Wee little bit more, and that could have been sorted out. But now they know exactly where he is, and he cannot go anywhere.
Saddest part is that there is just a revival zone in front of him. Well, he can stay here for a while until the circle closes in.
He can prone. They are not going to be able to tag him up unless they go far away. But that also opens them up to a little bit of danger. In any case, there could still be a team that finds First Raiders out there and engages. No! Darkall takes 2 seconds too long.
I saw his feet and it's like, nah, I don't want to shoot their feet. North does the job.
Good flank.
Valiant fight from Alpha, right? But they're caught in a very rough position, and Darko was able to flank them. Farang also suffering. I mean, they have been on the run for the past 6 minutes.
They've been on the run throughout the whole competition, unfortunately. Fire is now knocked down as well. And it looks like Farang's going to lead E Arena directly into the hands of First Raiders Eclipse here. Let's take a look at the map. And with Jembal just bleeding out little by little, PE is going to catch... We're going to sniff out Jesbu, who's running straight at them. And as I say that, Nero and Don't Cry open fire. Jesbu disappears from the map, but his plate is still there. Now he's taken out.
Oh, he's gone. This is the first circle that we saw on Xterra that heads towards the intellect center, right? So it's not easy to get right through. If you are late, people can gatekeep. There are 3 bridges. You can see First Raiders Eclipse, first team to touch down right in the center of that circle. And honestly, I think this is one of the toughest safe zones in competitive Free Fire, just because you're not only trapped on an island, there's very little space for you to move around.
It's a very smart play coming through from First Raiders Eclipse to quickly reposition the moment that circle moved. They might have had some pre-hand information as well as experience playing a circle like this, because like you said, Husky, it's not an easy spot to fight out of, especially if you're going to be one of the last few stragglers to get into that circle.
Chenbao is still running. He's in the arsenal.
Uh-oh.
Don't think he can bring his teammates back though. There's no buy point there.
I see...
Okay, yeah, he's...
Hi, Chenbao.
Goodbye.
I think this is the end with the MAC-10 in hand. And DNP circles around. And Jembal's still alive. MAC-10 not doing anything whatsoever. Finally fires back, but Nero sorts him out. Farang out of the 8th spot.
The rough run continues for Farang here. 1 mediocre round, and the rest was... nothing much can be said, honestly. Haven't woken up...
The more you say, the more it hurts them, man.
I think they've suffered enough.
Yeah.
E-Arena now staring right across towards LGDS.
Yeah.
I believe, so the thing is, First Raiders Eclipse, they did suffer some punishments early on. They lost members to LGDS, they lost members to E-Arena, but right now they are the first team to make it into the circle. You see the E-Arena, they are very spread out just to cover as much ground as possible, because in the safe zone, there really isn't much space for you to confidently hold, and they're not even crossing the bridge just yet.
I mean, this team is running a 4-sniper setup. They know for a fact that you need those long-range engagement capability. What is this? A double woodpecker, triple woodpecker alongside an AWM, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. Or is that an M82B? Well, we will find out soon enough, because they are going to be popping off in a little bit. Vasto Mundo, on the other hand, finds Team Flash. Bio getting tagged up. Nunez has got an opportunity with the power of, but Luca down on the ground, and Ripcord takes Crusher out of the equation. Luca snuffed out. This is not going good for Vasto Mundo.
Oh my goodness, First Raiders Eclipse, they actually decided to set up shop at the edge of Intellect Center. That's why they got these long-range pickoffs. Again, Luca was caught in such an unlucky position, but Team Flash will now push the rest of Vasto Mundo. Blazer 10 already down thanks to Bloody. Crusher has a cluster nade from the Alvaro, but barely scratches Ripcord. And Vasto Mundo are down to just 2 members. Both of them trapped on the attic. You have Bio just pelting them with those grenade launchers shots. Crusher is trying his best. Team Flash puts up the glue wall and the time turner. This is the final stand for Vasto Mundo, and with Ripcord and he had been slowly encroaching forward, Crusher gets knocked down, and Nunez doesn't have much left in the tank. Team Flash gets rid of Vasto Mundo.
Good try by Team Vasto Mundo, but now E-Arena out in action. A fantastic headshot out of Shut Up as Bruce was hopping his way towards them, but you cannot bunny hop in front of the bunnies themselves.
No, definitely not. And try to use the Master's tricks against them. It's a bit of a wishful thinking. LGDS, they still need to try and make it through E-Arena, which again, the sniper setup makes it incredibly hard. E-Arena, they backed out 3 of their members, but Orgus, he's still in front. This could catch LGDS off guard. Throws out the Alvaro nade. Clusters are there. Roro brings back Bruce. E-Arena now retreating and trying to get over into that circle as Bruce actually flew in.
Good defensive maneuver from the rest of the players on the side of E-Arena. First Raiders, on the other hand, they have got a couple of chicken caught in the coop here. E-Arena trying to tag them up. First Raiders trying to steal away those eliminations, but they just do not have an angle to play around with. Alvaro will once again come through with that cluster, but it does not connect on anyone. UK skirts around Darkall, spots him out. One more shot, but the time turner saves him.
And DNP is DEAD thanks to North. Darko finds UK once more, and First Raiders Eclipse looking to basically close up shop in this compound. Ironclad defense, 9 eliminations for FR.
And FR still claims those eliminations. E-Arena, unfortunate sitting ducks out at the other end, managed to just tag them up, forcing them to use the utilities, but could not claim those engagements. And now, inside of Intellect Center, this is where you need to bring out those big brain plays, and Bruce is already on it.
Yeah, he is dead center, well, not really dead center, but he's dead center of this building. which will close in just a bit longer, but Team Flash against Evo's Phoenix feels like the storyline for the day so far, as Evo's Phoenix continues to taunt Team Flash, but Team Flash have won of their engagement already, has 80% of their health taken away. That nade!
Oh, beautiful.
What a Steffi block.
Already, first gets tagged up by that nade, and Steffi just comes in for that save. And now Bio's gonna tag up Jonah. Nope, that one goes wide. Jonah continues to push on in. Shut Up gets tagged up by North as first Raiders now engage with E-Arena. E-Arena struggling outside of the circle, at least half of the team. Rotating, getting eaten up by the circle. Argus goes down by the circle, but Shut Up and Souza, they both get into an engagement. Souza goes down. Darkhall, the final survivor here, trying to protect first Raiders, but the glue wall is gonna be barricading Shut Up just perfectly fine. Protate is gonna bleed out. Darkhall goes out. Once again, E-Arena eats up first Raiders.
The fact that they didn't get rid of Shut Up costed them this round, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Evo's Phoenix trying to piss on to Yanbin. Look at Bio, he's trapped between those glue walls as well. Yanbin trying to play his own survival game. The campfire is gonna be there for Get High already, just trying to blast through this glue wall to get to the members of Team Flash. It's gonna be Yanbin again. Bio finally walking forward, but just does not have the numbers to get rid of Evo's Phoenix. And finally, we see Evo's Phoenix having a firm grip of this round. LGDS only has Bruce left. He is just going to drop right down and give it away to Evo's Phoenix.
Survives, gonna get the knock. Jonah is the one that goes up against him, and the answer is absolutely no. Drogon headshot. Jonah sorts him out. And now Evo's Phoenix, they are annoyed because that one quick grenade launcher attack on them did manage to take these two players down, but they're going up 4v1. If this is not an Evo's Phoenix booyah, I'll shave my mustache off.
All right, Shut Up, do it. Do the 1v4 again.
Nope.
Not this time though, it's not gonna happen. Evo's Phoenix, 5th booyah of the group stage.
Woo! It was not the greatest of rounds, but it was a fantastic round for the two-time champions at the end. Full squad, and the recovery from them has just been absolutely perfect. And who else the MVP but the one and only Jonah, the absolute obliterator of opponents.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Shut Up have his 1v4 moment. Jonah also got his 1v4 moment in this round. I mean, Evo's Phoenix, nothing much needs to be said. They have been phenomenal, and it's very hard to take that away from them. They are the only team that can have a slow round, and we will try to justify those slow rounds.
They can have slow rounds after rounds after rounds and still be your two-time world champs.
That is true. I can't argue against that until someone knocks them off that throne.
I mean, it could just be E-Arena, man. I mean, it could be even Flash. I mean, they've teased enough teams, and now this is finally the time where teams are fighting back. And some of them are able to do it really, really well. It's just that consistency might not be their key aspect, but the capability of getting it done, they've proven it through the 4 matches today.
And to be very fair to the rest of the team, this is, again, a very, very harsh circle to play into, right? Especially if you're not the first few teams to make it in.
Yeah.
That is why Evo's Phoenix has such a good spot. E-Arena was able to outsmart First Raiders Eclipse again, but they took a lot of damage. 2 of their members got down by the blue zone because they were in this stand-up against FR. So Evo's Phoenix getting one of the easier booyahs.
I mean, at the end of the day, they did manage to set that up pretty well.
Yeah.
And they were getting knocked down again and again and again. And this is exactly where the 4-man J-Beams, I believe, comes in super handy, right? You've got that extra bit of armor on you, and when your team members do take the damage, and you are running J-Beams, you get that EP that they lose, which is ridiculous because you get to top your EP right back up. You've got those healing capabilities, and you've now got extra bit of armor once again. So you are in constant ready mode for combat.
Yeah, this is the only team that runs the 4 J-Beams, and you can really see it being applied when you get in these heated 4 versus 4, right? It almost felt like Evo's Phoenix have extra health to them.
They do. They do. I mean, okay, extra armor. They've got extra bit of armor just to kind of negate a little bit of that damage. And the quick recovery, you really have to respect that, right? Because a lot of these teams, they take a little bit of time to get to their team members. It doesn't happen with Evo's Phoenix, mainly because of the composition as well. Having J-Beeps, you cannot be more than, I believe, 15 meters away from your team member. So that forces them to keep such a tight grouping no matter where they go. And it always plays out so well.
They say the more the merrier, right? So that's why I think this 2-2 split for Evo's Phoenix is kind of the blueprint of how they play FreeFire overall. 10 eliminations and a booyah, 22 massive points for Evo's Phoenix, and Jonah being the MVP not surprised at all. He pulled off an incredible stunt in this round. And I just want us to pay attention to this because I absolutely love this animation when they pull off the curtains and reveal the lineup.
Oh, this is just fantastic, man. J-Beeps. Yeah, the four-man J-Beeps meta still continues for EVOS Phoenix, and we have not seen a single team out there apply this meta for themselves. But of course, you will have to be a team that sticks together just like EVOS Phoenix in order to really execute those plays.
Yeah, and you also have to be a team that really coordinates very well, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're sticking together, sometimes you put yourselves in positions where you need to hold an area, you need to anchor down on an area, and you're getting pelted with utilities. How do you manage these situations? EVOS Phoenix show us that survival instinct is very strong. Even if they lose, it takes a lot to wipe them out.
Awakened Hayato there. You've also got the Awakened Kelly. And soon, bro, I'm pretty sure, Husky, we are going to see the Awakened Alok running around on the battlefield as well. I'm foreseeing that to be one of the meta characters when it is introduced soon.
I'm looking forward to that, honestly.
Absolutely.
Because
I mean, dude, when Alok was first introduced,
it was mad.
He was being abused.
Yeah,
to no end.
It was no fun. I say no fun in a very loose manner, right? Because everyone was running Alok. Everyone was just... I mean, can you imagine Alok and Kelly? That was a nightmare.
Yeah, it was, right? But of course, the popular weapons for round number 4, the Trogon as well as AC-80, they're pretty familiar to everyone by now in terms of the popular weapons used in FFSI. Parafal finally makes its way in here as well. A very decent mid to long range engagement weapon, which is pretty accurate, and the rate of fire is very decent when you compare it with the damage output.
Yeah, and overall, you know, for EVOS Phoenix, if they've woken up, then good for them. I mean, they're still going to be at the top anyways. The match standings for match number 4 next era is EVOS Phoenix with 22 points. E-Arena getting 20. So great recovery for this team that had to fight tooth and nail against First Traders Eclipse, who just would not let them pass, but shut up towards the very end. Once more clutch for the team.
We're at Game 4, but I want to talk about Game 6. I know I predicted a Bermuda, but at this point, I want an Alpine, because I want to see E-Arena improve and fix that Alpine gameplay today in itself. But let's take a look at the standings, the complete standings between these two teams, and see exactly how they fared. E-Arena still dominates at number 1 spot with 61 points, and Team Flash is just 9 behind them with a total of 52. FW Esports with a 50 in the 3rd spot, and EVOS Phoenix very quickly catching up in their 4th spot this time around with 46 to the name.
This is how you know that a team has been doing incredibly well, when they only really played 3 rounds instead of 4, and they're still in the lead, right? An average of 20 points out of those 3 rounds. And look at their kill count. 15 more than their placement points.
We had an eye on 5 teams as we were heading in here today. Farang, Alpha, Vasto Mundo. We were also keeping an eye on LGDS, followed by E-Arena. And out of the 5 teams, only 1 team has broken away from week 1's miserable performance.
And I think it's fair, right? Because E-Arena is the team that is the first seed of their region and has the highest expectation placed on them.
Yes. And of course, they've managed to live up to their names, but we also want to see some of the rest kind of step up the gameplay as well. We still do have 2 more matches, but we can only catch up after a quick short break.
วีคที่ผ่านมาผมคิดว่าทีมผมทำได้ดีอยู่แล้วครับแล้ววีคต่อไปผมมีแผนที่จะทำให้ดีกว่าเดิมครับ
ฝากถึงทีมอีโวนะครับระวังจะโดนปล้นที่ 1 มานะฝากหน่อยนะครับเจอกันที่ตู้คลังแสงรอบหน้าเดี๋ยวผมหวนให้ยับเลย
ก็ฝากถึงทีมที่คิดว่าพวกผมเป็นคาตารางนะครับก็ตอนนี้พวกผมรออยู่ทางโค้งแล้วครับ
Não nos saímos bem nesta semana, mas estamos a trabalhar nisso e não nos subestimem.
รีบๆตามมานะพี่ผมรออยู่ครับ
The something in his eyes. There's a storm within, but it's written in the sky. Let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Won't let it make me go under. Won't let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me. No one will ever get left behind. A million more before I've tried. Won't let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Let it make me go under. Let it make me go under. So now it's time.
The Icarus have risen again with that booyah on Nextera. We're gonna head back to Bermuda for round number 5, and that means that it's time to pick up the pace for some of the teams who still have not done so. You're here with us as always. My name is Husky, and alongside me is the mustachio AJ. Nothing much has changed, and I love it.
I absolutely love the fact that E-Arena went back to their winning ways. They got into that final circle. They put up a really strong fight because the last thing they would need for themselves is bombing out at Alpine and then letting that be the trajectory for the rest of the day. With them coming right back up, they can just put aside Alpine and name that as, okay, this is our cursed map, but we are going to perform on every other map that we touch today. And that's the kind of attention that we need to see out of this team. And now we head back into Bermuda where they almost broke the record.
It is a very strong bounce back
Yeah.
from E-Arena. I'd say that they went from getting 1 point to like what? Close to 20?
Yes.
That is a very strong achievement, right? They couldn't fight Evo Screenage because they were left with just one guy, but in the grand scheme of things, E-Arena performed admirably well. Boston Mundo, they did show some signs of life, and now the attention turns to LGDS, who started the week as the gatekeeper, but they 100% are no longer gatekeeping. Now they need to catch up to the rest.
And as we head back in here to Bermuda, the 3 teams to look out for. First Raiders Eclipse with the 60% top 3 rate, followed by Morph Team as well as FWE Sports, who have that 40% top 3 rate each. Now, the First Raiders Eclipse squad earlier on, where we did see them in performance, they didn't really show us all that too much, just picking up 5 points. But FW, on the other hand, did decently well for themselves alongside Morph Team. So, First Raiders, but of course, they could have been a little bit more capable out there if it wasn't for the raging E-Arena.
Oh yeah, I think E-Arena, well, back on to Bermuda, we remember what happened when we started the day.
Yeah.
It really felt like E-Arena just ran out and just told themselves, guys, we see, we shoot. And it worked. We'll see. I want to see if there's any adjustments from other teams, because I expect E-Arena to do the same thing again. This flight path, this one is a bit more unforgiving.
This one is going to challenge some of these teams here. I'm curious to see exactly who takes a blue circle at Katulistiwa. LGDS, the first one's out towards Shipyard. E-Arena already out for the flight towards Katulistiwa, probably here. And it looks like it's going to be an aggressive attempt from them to overtake Team Alpha, who are aiming for Bima Sakti Strip, but unfortunately Remind kind of hangs back a tad bit. Team Flash will move on towards Plantation. They're going to be playing on the dam for a little bit, but no hot drops coming on through for a majority of these teams. So Flight path does not punish.
And Limit got an easy first blood also onto Katao. Still not done just yet. It's getting chased now. If he wins this 1v2, it would be amazing. Ramai tries to juke him out. Limit has the glue wall, uses it, pulls out the Trogon, wins the second one.
Kill.
And Alpha have completely lost control of this high tier loot zone.
And that's why I say Trogon is just that must-have gun, right? Because in the past, we used to see the dominance of the Mag 7. We also used to see the dominance of the grenade launcher. Now, in the Trogon, you have the best of both worlds. You just need to remember to switch the shooting mode. Argus,
What?
you get Luca! What?
Huh? From that distance?
He just assumed that, okay, one guy flew out. There has to be someone else aiming to use this launch pad as well. And that guess went right. No elimination, though.
But it does stop Vastamundo for a little bit. They only sent one guy away.
Oh my god.
And guess where he is? Crush it. He is where E-Arena is at. So it doesn't get any better. E-Arena are looking for him.
At the very end of that stick, it doesn't get any worse than this for Crusher. He's gonna get crushed. As I say that, Protete puts that final bullet in the coffin.
No.
3 eliminations already for E-Arena.
Vastamundo, what are you doing?
What?
Where are
Okay,
you
fly
going?
right
Okay,
over.
alright. I got scared. I was like, is that the play? E-Arena sees this and
Yep.
they have a good idea. It could be Vastamundo.
Not enough time to react. One vending machine here, and they're gonna buy Crusher right back. In the meantime, LGDS, they find BO, and they're gonna claim this elimination point for themselves. So 2 eliminations, or is that the only one? Yeah, just 1 elimination to their name. LGDS will do with that.
And Team Flash instantly buys BO back. But LGDS, now they have the numbers advantage, right? BO hasn't even touched down on ground yet. So
Oh, wow.
all in all, LGDS have the numbers advantage to take on Team Flash. What they're gonna do? Bruce instantly crashes in onto Mill. Team Flash, they gotta be ready to accept this.
Lots of bravado out of Ung, just rushing up all on his own, not even waiting for the car to catch up with him. Bruce now has got the Woodpecker. Armor penetrations all solid on his end, but no connections yet with those shots. Has to back away. In the meantime, very aggressive from Team Flash. P90 in the hands of Yanbin. What he does not have is that HP. Bloody, you cannot miss those shots. You cannot miss those opportunities. Ung does manage to dodge away, but Bruce does get clipped and gets put on the ground. BO takes advantage. It's the Trogon on for the pop. Roro down. Ung down. Team Flash taking over.
Yeah, BO tried to go for the swing, but does end up getting eliminated. But he did do enough damage to Yuan, and that is going to allow the rest of Team Flash to come in and clean things up. I do think that LGDS got the drop onto Team Flash, but just a bit messy in terms of those fights and how they were approaching Team Flash.
And Team Flash was the more aggressive one. And unfortunately for them, they just didn't have the kind of arsenal to go up against Team Flash, who was just so much more ready for a mid to short range combat with the weapons they had on them, especially the Trogon combination with the P90, rate of fire out of the P90. You just cannot stop it. You could have prevented it by trying to play this long range as according to your arsenal, but unfortunately they don't.
Yeah, FW is going to try and drive out of there. If there's one thing I learned, is that PE Sports, remember to pull on that handbrake, because I saw the truck sliding down the hill.
Has that ever happened to you in real life?
Not pulling my handbrake, no, thankfully.
No? I've driven for a date because that date just happened to be with my fiance right now. We've been together close for 8 years. And in order to get that one first date with her, right, she gives me a call one day and she says, you know, I'm out, and I'm like, who are you with? She says, no one. So I'm like, can I join you for dinner? You know, because I'm desperate, right? And she surprised me. I expected her to no, because this woman has been turning me down time and time again. And she said yes. I jumped into my car. I drove all the way, I think about 15 kilometers with my handbrake on, bro. My handbrake was on.
You know what they say, the power of love.
Yeah. My car was smoking at one point, and I was like wondering what is happening. Then I realized my handbrake was on.
Was it expensive to fix it?
I have not fixed it until today.
Oh,
until today.
Your car...
My handbrake just does not clutch properly, so I just make sure I don't park it on a slope.
Yeah, it feels the power of love and desperation.
I don't drift, so I don't use the handbrake.
It pulled through for you.
Luca out in the open, and again gets put down onto the ground. Yanbin, fantastic headshot. And that armor penetration out of the Woodpecker, you gotta love it.
That's 6 eliminations already for Team Flash. If they can wipe out Vastamundo, that would be 8. And it almost seems to be the case at this point. I mean, there is a revival point, but I do not think Vastamundo have enough time to capture it. It does take a while. Blazer 10 getting completely blasted. And been finding that one, so triple kill for him. And 7 eliminations for Team Flash so far.
Flash is on fire and Crusher just has got no opportunity, so he decides to go for a swim. He appreciates the effort of Nunes Blazer 10 to bring him right back into the mix, but all he can do now is just enjoy the cold water at Riverside as Team Flash buggers off.
Yeah, he's like, it's not for me. I appreciate the thought, but this is not for me. This is not my fight.
It was his fight though. It's just not a fight he could take. Farang, on the other hand, we see them once again. It's such a rare team to see out there on the battlefield.
I mean, Farang's gonna fight FW, right? And only one team can make it out of this.
Only one F can go further.
Yes.
Only one F can go further. Get it?
Yes, I do. I get it.
It's a triple F.
What?
F. One F goes further. Farang, FW further. It's okay. Not all jokes hit the same.
This definitely one of my...
Yeah, it's one of them. FW makes it out of here because Farang, as usual, wants to stay passive, but as I talk about the passive plays, they open fire at the vehicle, hoping to light it up on fire, but absolutely nothing happens. Team FW erects those glue walls, quickly finds a defensive position, and now Farang needs to pay for their sins. Alongkon, far away from them, can execute this backstab.
I wonder what is Alongkon's plan, right? You also have one Farang member who is playing inside that factory compound also. So both teams kind of have the same idea, but for Farang, they definitely are a bit more desperate because they need to somehow get into the circle. And look at this double back from FW. They might be looking to wrap around Farang.
And Farang, there is one player wrapping around them as well. Faiz gets taken down. Jembal, opportunity. Parafal in hand. Knocks up the one and only Gimelo, but does not put him down onto the ground just yet. But that was an absolute fail in terms of a backstab because all he does is just drag that attention to him. But that gives, of course, the rest of Team Farang the opportunity to crawl away.
It is a huge price to pay, though, for Farang.
Bye, Jembal.
I wonder how... Buying the two fallen teammates back is one thing, but having enough time to suit up is another. Whoa, E-Arena against FL Team Flash. They do have a grenade launcher in their hand on the side of Flash. And E-Arena has to deal with the low ground also. Terrain not favoring them. You can see that August gets tagged by the nade. FL, they are going to instantly back off to their compound. They don't need to rush this.
Ice grenades back and forth. Team Flash with a better idea here. Instead of taking that open ground battle, they take a defensive compound and they secure it. But the drone is going to try to fish them out as best as possible. E-Arena trying to play this with the game of information. Not popping that Avron out just yet. E-Arena on for the slow approach. A124 on that refresh. By the time they do re-engage, you can expect Rotated to just rush straight into the compound of Team Flash, pop that A124, and that's just going to disable all of their skills. But that nade tags up Argus, and it forces him to slow down. Yet another nade sent on through, but the glue wall helps him out. Shut up with the flank from the right-hand side. Protete, this has to be the point where he pops that A124 active skill.
I mean, Argus was so lucky. 199. He had 200 HP. Literally surviving on the edge. Protete hit by the Homer drone.
He pops it.
Tagged by that grenade launcher also. He's dropping low. Nissan to queue up in the glue wall. Argus trying to support, but yeah, Shut Up on the side again. The aggressive maneuver from Shut Up getting quickly stopped by the members of Team Flash, but it allows Protete to recover and rush right in from the flank, catching Bloody off guard. As Team Flash now are out in the open. Argus supporting with that grenade launcher. Bayo with the nade from afar as E-Arena somehow are able to really push Team Flash away. Bayo also completely abandoned by the rest of his team as E-Arena chases him down for the final kill. Team Flash, this could be the end.
This is the end. Bayo's not going to be able to make it out of here. The 30-second timer is not out just yet. And by the time it reaches the end, Team Flash is all evicted. You got to respect the play out of Protete. Now you understand, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as to why this guy is always rushing towards his opponents. It is to pop that A124. 30 seconds disabling your opponent's active and passive skills is just absolutely ridiculous in the current meta.
Absolutely deadly. Get high, tagged by the Homer drone.
They are running for Darko though. You can see the ideation from the side of Evo's Phoenix. They have Moshi.
Jonah.
If Moshi goes down, FR will have a good chance. E-Arena behind though. They see this happening. Jonah coming around the corner. Get high with him. Darko putting up the glue wall to try and rejoin the rest of his team. And maybe E-Arena could be a game changer in this scenario. But Darko is tagged down low. Again, glue wall. Very well put. North is there. So's on the whip. Grab onto Foster, coming through onto Lozzy. Not doing too much. E-Arena shooting them from on top of the hill. And E-Arena, they're going to get the last laugh.
They are most definitely laughing already now. They don't even need the last laugh. They are cracking up. North, Lozzy backs away, get high tagged up at the very same time as well. He cannot defend himself from up top, and those ice grenades are going to eat away at him. But get high as well as already, they back each other up. North goes down, and this is going to be a win for EVOS Phoenix. But the question is, can they revive Moshi as they do dispatch of Team First Raiders? E-Arena has already gotten the maximum of all of those engagements, and now they want to flank around from that left-hand side, and they tag up already. Already's going to get taken out of the equation. Get high goes down as well. Final survivor, Captain Jonah.
And he's going to run straight into Morph Team. Jonah has no idea. He's even going to get tagged out very early on. EVOS Phoenix meets their maker, and the flame fizzles out this round. Thanks to E-Arena, again is taking advantage of that. Ma'au catches Jesmu going on the run. And Farang, they need to fight through Morph Team, but they don't have the numbers.
Someone just needs to tell Farang, stop sneaking around at this point. I think they just need to play aggressive. Because when you play this one strategy again and again and again and again and again, and you fail every single time, maybe it's high time you switch things up. I mean, E-Arena is the perfect example for that. They had a terrible one first week, and they were not aggressive. But when they bring out that aggression, look at them. Once again, 13 eliminations. We expected them to pop off again on Bermuda as they were on a wreck earlier on with 20 eliminations, and they're right on track for the exact same thing.
And you know the craziest thing? If they get a booyah for this map, they don't even need to get a booyah. I think with this 13 points, they've already gotten the same amount of points that they got in week 1 alone.
Oh, that's
out of 4 rounds. This is the E-Arena that we fear.
And who cares about Alpine if you are going to be popping off on Bermuda in this fashion, right? E-Arena is not going to be phased at all. FW, slow rotation around towards New UK. One player already holding that tower as Farang gets eliminated. Farang's not doing anything except being the feed for all of the other teams out there. Hopefully they don't revive all that too many times in a situation like this until they start becoming aggressive. Team P Esports is going to be dipping outside of the circle for a tad bit, and UK is going to get pressured. The rest of them already in the safe haven up top, just waiting for an opportunity. But guess who's there on the other side? E-Arena, just waiting to catch hold of someone.
And they also intercepted Alpha, so that could be a couple more kills to their name. When we have a bit of breathing room, I mean, Farang, they're playing to not lose, right? That's not how you should approach it. You gotta be playing to win. You gotta be making those moves, just like what PE Esports is doing right now. I mean, Susanna gets sniped by Limit as PE Esports trying to keep FW under this hill. You also have Morph Team coming out. Alpha behind with the backstab. This could be a huge chance for Alpha to do some serious damage to PE Esports. Jazara and Gatao in the front line. They drop the campfire as well. Gatao and Jazara both get knocked down. I mean, E-Arena, they're poking their head in, and look at where they are, AJ. They're right in the middle.
Nero almost gets a double for himself. PE Esports still doing fine, and Dandy FW dispatched already. Good position taken by E-Arena up top on the second floor of this tower. Shut Up now, joined by Protete. Protete cannot rush against the players of Morph. Shut Up backs up Argus. Argus spots out UK. UK takes that one shot, almost dispatched, but Limit from afar is going to be putting on the damage. But Protete in a lot of trouble. That A124 hasn't been popped just yet, and I think he's going to do it right now.
Limit is playing from outside the circle. He might be able to snipe some of these players as well. And look at E-Arena. They are very spread out. So if one of the members falls, those pillars can collapse. But these individual members are absolutely madman. They are so confident that one member is locking down one team at a time. Morph Team, they need to try somehow break free of this. But look at them. They're getting pressured thanks to Limit.
Umbot is recovering. This is going to be that opportunity. Steffi will be very, very precious in that final circle, and the active skills have recovered here for Team Morph. They're just waiting for the timing. That circle's going to be pressuring them from the back as E-Arena engages with Team P Esports. Nice. Limit down on the ground. Don't Cry just needs one more shot, but Limit backs away behind the tree, still clips his foot, and that is all going to be over for Limit. Argus and Protete backing each other up. They go in for the push, but Argus gets taken down. Grenade launcher out of nowhere takes Protete, and E-Arena, they are down for the count.
Yeah, they bit off too much more than they could chew, and they got punished for it. Shut Up, last man alive behind the spotted out as well. But PE, they're preoccupied by more team and one grenade launcher to end it all. 1 versus 4. Startup, can you do it again this time against PE Sports? The answer is no. PE Sports finally getting the second booyah of the group stage. But E Arena just got too greedy.
PE Sports, man. The second booyah for PE Sports on Bermuda.
Yes.
They did manage to pick one up on Alpine as well, so good on them. But they effectively disabled Team E Arena from once again absolutely ravaging the circle because they kept them entertained for so long. Morph could have taken that back step. They could have dispatched of E Arena a little bit earlier on, but Morph just didn't take that. All because of one guy, Protete from E Arena. E Arena was fighting 3 teams at the same time.
Yeah, and again, right, they were just too greedy. If we just look at the snapshot of that distribution from E Arena, I mentioned this, right? If one of their members go down, the entire formation collapsed. And you saw how fast E Arena collapsed when PE Sports got the initial knock. On to Limit, no less. That was the guy that was supporting the rest of the team. But either way, E Arena have got the more than enough points. I'm not gonna harp on that too much.
But it is a waste if you ask me, though.
It is.
They were in an amazing position. They were on fire. They had full confidence. They didn't need to rush into the circle to find a good position, but they wanted to be a part of the action. They put themselves in that position, and they could have just stayed behind the tower with just one team to keep an eye on, which was Morph on their right-hand side. But no, they wanted more, and this is the problem. When you get greedy out there in that final circle, you are going to get punished. E Arena thus far has been very methodical with their approaches, but the moment where they get a little too greedy, they get punished, as they should be.
They go into overdrive, right?
Yeah.
And I say it is, it is forgivable because E Arena, as always, have gotten an unreasonable amount of kills.
Yeah.
They've effectively garnered enough points that they've garnered in week 1. More than that, in fact. So E Arena, hats off regardless. PE Sports able to get that booyah means that you have that big injection of points, which you look at PE Sports as a team, they disappear so fast after day 1. Now it's good to see them on the board again.
And E Arena has effectively cleared far away from that bottom 5. They're surely in the top 12, but we will be able to see exactly how much their efforts fare tomorrow as we see Group C in that battle as well. But of course, we're going to see a little bit more from Group B. So the potential of seeing E Arena not make too much of a difference on the overall leaderboard is still going to be there. But I believe just this one day of solid plays out of E Arena has put them in the grand finals.
And it's just such a poetic way to see E Arena perform because we started the day listening to Protete say they're just waiting for the winds to change. And whether it's through effort, whether it's through feng shui, well, it definitely changed for way better. And his peace sign is going to be remembered for a long time. We're going to take a look at the Booyah team feature. PE Sports with a massive one this time, bagging 11 eliminations, and you have Nero as the MVP.
4 eliminations in the hands of Nero himself, and one of those rescues. You know he's doing out there a lot of damage, and at the very same time backing the rest of his team members up. DNP, Don't Cry, New K chipping in their own accord, but New K just struggling a tad bit with the number of times he just got punished. But let's look at the team comp here, and it looks like New K was playing more of a defensive setup and also the scout for the team to find out exactly where the rest of the players out with that Avron and that Steffi to, give them that extra bit of defense against all of these throwables. But the more aggressive setup, for sure, out of Nero.
Yeah, and you can see it's just a setup that allows you to really anchor down in your spot, right? And in this instance, Homer can be used to just slow down your enemies, to make them feel unsafe about rushing you. And you have that J beeps on 2 of their members that could keep them alive if they're holding down a big area. And then you have Nero with that grenade launcher, which did massive work this game.
The M79 is just such a rare weapon to find in the current meta. You don't really see it popping off a lot, but when you do see it in action, it is such a lethal grenade launcher out there on the battlefield. The Trogon is the best of both worlds between a shotgun and a launcher, but it has got nothing in comparison to what the M79 can do.
It's a grenade launcher that can one-shot you, right? I mean, that speaks for itself.
Yeah.
We're going to take a look at the popular weapon this time. Well, we are not going to see that grenade launcher, but we, again, see the Trogon. And this is going to be a trend throughout the rest of not just the group stage, but also the grand finals, I believe.
I'm willing to make a bet we'll never see the M49 on the popular weapons list. all the way until
It
the
could
grand
be
final.
it's a rare weapon, not a
Yeah,
popular.
it's definitely the most rare but effective weapon out there. But I would love to see more of the M82B. And the one combination that I just haven't seen players run enough is the combination of that Iris as well as the M82B, which is such a hack out there on the battlefield.
Yeah.
But it's also with the capability of sniping. But we've got a lot of these snipers, so I'm just a little curious as to why nobody has run it confidently just yet. Could be because of the unfortunate, timing as to how long that Iris is effective for in the active skill. But still, we have seen it at least once. But E-Arena once again steps it up even without a booyah.
25 points. PE Sports got 23 again, right? You look at the amount of eliminations that E-Arena has. It basically places them in second place if you don't look at the placement points. 86 total points out for 4 rounds, right? I'm gonna exclude Alpine because they only got 1, but 85 points out of 4 rounds. That is insane for E-Arena.
And the fact that Flash is doing better than EVOS, E-Arena is doing better than EVOS, Jonah might be thinking to himself, did I just motivate them a little too much with my words?
I mean, they asked Team Flash to hurry up. Well, Team Flash, they definitely picked up the pace. LGDS recovered a little bit, but they still face the same problem as Vastamundo and Farah, right? Down. The 4 teams that haven't been showing up, well, they're still at the bottom. Now,
Bermuda.
we look at the randomizer. Bermuda. Yes!
Yeah! So we all know exactly who's going to be rising up to the top. E-Arena has been crushing in our Bermuda for the time being. And with a triple Bermuda setup, I do not expect them to bomb out. They are going to exceed the 100-point mark right here today.
I 100% believe that. I'm on that E-Arena train. Well, guess the wind is blowing in their favor.
Absolutely. There's a typhoon blowing in their favor, and it's just tanking all of the rest of the teams. They've just got a solid house to find a little bit of solace in. But they are taking shots from that house as well.
Oh, they are massive. In every single round that they played, aside from Alpine, they have gotten more than 10 eliminations.
Don't talk about Alpine.
Every single round that they perform well, more than 10 eliminations. Yes. It is such a consistent performance. Well, we're going to go to Bermuda next. So E-Arena have a good chance to show up massive. Once more, we'll let them do the talking as we go to a break.
สวัสดีครับผมโปเตเต้กัปตันทีม E-Arena ชีวิตผมดีมากอยู่แล้วไม่มีอะไรคิวมากมายผมเป็นหน่วยจู่โจมของทีมและชอบสร้างแรงบันดาลใจให้กับเพื่อนๆวันว่างๆผมชอบไปเที่ยวชิลๆชมบรรยากาศแล้วก็ชอบกินต้มยำกุ้งด้วยส่วนนี้สมาชิกทีมของผมนี่คือ EA ออกัสตัวเต็งตำแหน่งแอคแท็กเกอร์ของทีมมันชอบโม้ว่ามีสาวมาติดเยอะทั้งที่จริงๆมาเล่นเกมกับผมทั้งวันพวกเราเรียกเขาว่าอ้วนซ่าบ้าพลังคนนี้คือลิมิตเขามีคติประจำใจอยู่ว่าอยู่นิ่งๆเนี่ย
The arena of Bermuda is big enough to hold 11 teams, but is it strong enough to handle the heat from E Arena, currently topping the leaderboards with not a single booyah to their name, but they've dominated both of the Bermuda maps, and this could just be the sweet spot. Third time's the charm, maybe a booyah for them. I'm the Mustachio, the one and only Husky right beside me, your casters for the day, and this is the final match for us, Husky.
I'm dressed for E Arena. I'm dressed in full red. This is my time, baby. I've dressed like this for the entire week 1, and E Arena completely flopped. So I didn't change anything because it's not my problem, and E Arena stepped up. So now I'm a proud E Arena fan.
Good save. But you burned yourself. You didn't need to save yourself.
It's okay.
When nobody would have realized.
It's fine.
But it's all right. It's all right.
It's all right.
E Arena, right? Once again, they didn't manage to get a single booyah in the day, but they've managed to get the #1 spot more than once through their phenomenal performance, constantly coming up second in terms of the placement. But if they had gotten that booyah, you know they would have broken that crazy record today. But a little unfortunate to fall a little bit off, with First Raiders now being dropped down to a 50% top 3 rate on Bermuda. Guess who do they have to thank?
I don't know. I assume it starts with E and ends with A. That's coincidentally the tri-code for E Arena, EA.
It is right. It is. FWP Esports dropped down to 33 as well. Nobody's dominating here today except E Arena as far as Bermuda is concerned. And to have that map played 3 times within a day, E Arena is punching the air right now, waiting for someone to challenge them proper on this map.
Definitely blessed. So see, they are making use of this so far. I think, my worries about E Arena have finally been
fluttered away.
Yeah, I'm not worried anymore. But this flight path, almost similar to game 1.
Graveyard.
Will E Arena chase after the high tail loser? They will.
First Raiders too.
Uh-oh.
LGDS, are you gonna do it? No,
don't do it. Don't do it. Okay.
Hell no. Bullseyes for us. But it's going to be E Arena up against First Raiders again. And if First Raiders goes down again, this is just going to be an absolute upset by E Arena.
But Potato has the Falco, so he's going to touch down very fast. Shoutout already has a gun. They might get some early kills though. Look at FR. They're quickly running away just to make sure that they don't get caught out very early on. Shoutout knows where North is, going to turn the corner, sees him as well. North also has the shotgun in hand, 1887. The glue wall protecting him, shut up, can't get the knock.
Avron has been popped already, so they've got full information as to the position of every single player from the side of First Raiders. And this is just going to be a little bit of a pickle for First Raiders. They're a little late to pick up those guns, but they have got no medkits whatsoever. So if they do get tagged up, they'll just have to sustain with exactly that. Glue Wall Melter comes on through. Limit with the Mac 10. One of the better guns if you want to have these early engagements. Strogon in the hands of Shut Up, a little bit better. M1014 in the hands of North. He circles around, finds absolutely no one. Darkhall gets caught with a backstab, but he turns the tables on his attacker, and Darkhall will be able to sustain this a little bit longer.
Yeah, Shut Up tried to ambush both North and Darkhall, but ends up losing that because he missed his initial shot. So very, very unfortunate for them, but E Arena, they're locked in this battle. It is still very winnable for the mess. You can see that E Arena, they've taken decent ground. I believe August isn't around. He already left this area, so he can bring the rest of the team back if needed. Just leaving Potato and Limit to do as much damage as possible to the members of FR. Limit ends up going down. So August will most likely be the last man alive.
Oh, third time's, I guess, not the charm because they on Vasto Mundo. They want a party for the final round. Blazer 10 drops by, and that's the distraction for the players of E Arena. They are keeping First Raiders Eclipse a little bit preoccupied. E Arena with Protete can get the hell out of there, and he's doing exactly that. E Arena, this is not over just yet. They scream at the First Raiders as they back away from this compound.
And Shout Out got brought back as well, got revived, so E Arena effectively have 3 members left. As First Raiders Eclipse, I believe, also were able to get out before they got wiped by Vasto Mundo. A series of events leaving both teams battered and bruised. And LGDS, they're on the other side.
Yeah, LGDS, you better run. You don't want to face Vasto Mundo. Not in the form that they are in right now. First Raiders Eclipse will be able to bring Lozzie as well as North right back into play in the next couple of seconds, just right outside of Rimnam Village. And E Arena revives Limit. That's the one player they needed. Like you said, 3 survivors earlier on. E Arena almost got snuffed out. And this is one of those few rare moments where you just have to bow down to Vasto Mundo if you're an E-Arena fan.
I love the move from Vasto Mundo, really taking advantage of these situations, right? If you can't beat them in a 4v4, you steal those kills, get as much points as possible. Alpha are going to split up a little bit. Gatao and Remai heading for the Arsenal. So kind of cover a lot more ground, but again, the same problem as we saw last time. Last time they played Purgatory, I believe, is that there's not much space to work around effectively. There's not much compound that they can hide in.
But I have to say, big and mega mind kind of big brain plays out of Vasto Mundo. They saw two teams heading for that blue circle, and they bided their time. They went in, looted up their compound first. Everybody flies in towards the blue circle, anticipating a heavy gunfight between the two so that they can be the biggest winners. And guess what? They were absolutely right.
Yeah, and you also have to give props to FR and E-Arena, right, for disengaging. That could have gone way worse. Vasto Mundo showing up. Gonna take on Alpha this time. Luca will be playing that long-range support alongside Blazer 10. Zara, the first point of contact from the side of Alpha. Only one team can get out of this.
Instantly popping the spray out of Steffi, so that's gonna be blocking away all of the throwables, but Jazaria's just a little too quick with that click because no throwables were thrown whatsoever, no grenades, and now finally the flurry of grenades! It will tag Remind up just a tad bit, but Remind is super lucky. That was an ice grenade that was tossed right at him. Jazaria gets tagged up. Remind did manage to get picked as well, but now from the other side, Morph is just gonna be containing Alpha in here as Vasto Mundo finishes them off. This is a pincer that Alpha's not gonna love at all.
Very rough spot for Alpha to be in. The clearest path forward is just to clear out Vasto Mundo and hold on to this compound so that Morph team can't damage you, but easier said than done. UAV even popped out, I believe, from the side of Morph team. E-Arena also stopping by, actually flying past. You can see they dropped by at the Arsenal, so a lot of equipments for them to go for. Some remnants from what Alpha got just now. Orgus and Shalab both show up, and Shalab actually won the fight in that house, I believe.
Oh, Orgus is going to be in a pickle now. Two players from the side of Vasto Mundo surrounding him. Orgus, one quick ice grenade is going to get popped right beside him, forces him away from his defensive position. Blazer 10 secures the elimination. Protete from the back now. Luca, this is the moment where he can rise up to the occasion, and through the glue wall with the M82B, he does manage to track Protete. Luca.
Limit is able to get some shots as well. Protete ends up going down. I think E-Arena are left with just one guy as Limit, so he's going to fly all the way back out to Observatory. There's a vending machine right there. He can bring E-Arena back again.
I think Luca was running the Awakened Moko there. So the tag onto Protete, that was just basically the death marker on you, right? There's no way you get out of that. Laser 10 brings Crusher right back. Vasto Mundo's having a fantastic round. Cannot say the same for E-Arena, who seems to be preyed upon by team after team.
Yeah, they lost the early fight against FR, then Vasto Mundo shows up. Not Vasto Mundo, Team Flash. Now having LGDS in their sights, and LGDS, they know about this, but it's not an easy fight for them.
Tagged up bloody. Can't see that. He did get shot at. M82. I mean, hands down, think the M82B is the best sniper in the game. You pack that up along with so much of this information collecting active and passive skills. Out in the open, you have got no defenses against a sniper with the M82.
Oh yes. Limit is going to cross all the way down south to Rimnam Village just so he could revive his team. So E-Arena effectively having this is the slowest round that they played.
Imagine Iris packed together with Raphael packed together with an Awakened Moko. Dude, you are not gonna be able to run away at all.
And Maro,
penetration
right?
is and Maro as well. That's I think the best sniper combo that I just have not seen yet. Nobody's taking the risk with the Iris active, but I think it's just a matter of time before someone starts to abuse that. Jonah, M1887 in hand. Alif just taking his chances here. Team Farang right behind, but Jonah, the absolute specialist in 1v3, 1v4s, hasn't gone in for his move just yet. Spots out that player, finally steps on in. 1v2, goes in for the pop, but a good glue wall gets erected. Get high right behind it as well. Cannot back Jonah up just yet. Two players from the side of Farang tries to get at him. Get high finds Alif, and Moshi from the back. Jembal drops Get High, but already drops by and says hello to Jespu alongside Jembal. EVOS Phoenix eating up Farang.
I mean, Fire SEA, the intention was good to support his team, but you can't support your team if everyone is fighting in the building.
And once again, the M82 being the superstar in this battle as well. Faiz was barricaded behind multiple glue walls, but he was already marked. M82 through those glue walls. Simple, easy elimination. EVOS Phoenix not even breaking a sweat here. Flash just outside of the circle. Circle hasn't started moving in just yet. Steffi popped by Yanbin. He is going to be protected for a little bit. Homer does tag him up. Yanbin in a lot of trouble. Everybody else flanking from the right-hand side from up top. And Bloody does manage to get bruised. LGDS did not see that coming.
Yeah, Bruce was bleeding out, but I think the rest of LGDS just didn't feel safe enough to get him, so Bruce ended up bleeding out, bloody. I think a secondary member of LGDS run out the dam, can't get that shot in, but they effectively have cornered LGDS. Look at where LGDS is heading. They're heading towards the outskirts of to the edge of the circle.
And the timing of Yanbin popping that Steffi, this is something that Alpha can really learn from, because the premature use of Steffi's active skill just put them in such a tough position earlier on. They couldn't protect themselves from all of those flurry of grenades. But when you see it in the hands of someone like Team Flash, it's only whipped out when there's just no other choice whatsoever. In other circumstances, they're all grouped together using that active skill to its maximum potential.
Yeah, Team Flash, they're gonna really corner LGDS at the edge. LGDS, Yuan trying to capture that revival point. He's very close to it, but Team Flash actually have the flank on. I'm not sure if Yuan can get it up in time. All the glue wall melters tossed in as well. Yuan just need to hold on for a couple more seconds as Team Flash, they're gonna start showing out. Rip God and Yanbin have already done the job. Yuan, can you cap it in time?
Yanbin,
I don't think he can't do it in time. I think one of the members was able to be sent away, but that's pretty much it. I guess LGDS still lives on.
Yanbin has got a single elimination to his name, but at the moment, he has been the best Steffi player that I've seen out there in terms of the timing. The reactivation of that skill post cooldown was just so well timed in terms of his rush. Once again protects himself, takes the initiative to go up for the push. M10-14 in hand, easy knockdown, and teams after teams are just getting dispatched by them. We focus down onto FW now, who might get challenged by PE Sports, but they do have a vehicle to work around with, and Flash is going to get caught in the process of PE Sports instead.
Well, almost 11 minutes in and 10 teams left, AJ. So this is going to be a very, very tough late game for these teams.
The arena's still alive and kicking, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy, man. I mean, maybe this is going to be their booyah, but without a massive round. There is a potential there, but first Raiders are going to be the ones to challenge them. Vasto Mundo will be caught out at the same time. And once again, Vasto Mundo sticking their noses in when First Raiders was aiming for E-Arena instead.
I guess what goes around comes around, right? These three teams were interlocked in a conflict early on. It had to happen somehow. E-Arena definitely slowing down a little bit because they took so long to get the whole squad back. And they had to loot up, they have to use medkits just to make sure that they have enough health to make it back into the circle. So I don't expect to see Arena making too much moves, but I'm expecting EVOS Phoenix to do so. Look at that, dropping by, trying to say hello to Mob Team. Ambot already sniped out by Jonah, already recovering behind the wall with the Steffi graffiti also. As Ambot gets finished off, Jonah somehow surviving the cluster, already taking on Pew. The Trogon from already just a bit stronger. Pew goes down.
Already slowly stepping up. And two more players from the side of Team Morph is not going to be able to stand up to the onslaught of one and only EVOS Phoenix. Already Get High with the Charge Buster as well. Backed up by Jonah. Jonah, second one there, but the first one with the knock. And Jonah's just going to get that backup from Get High as well. Too good, too clean out of EVOS Phoenix.
Just a very straightforward push. I feel it felt like Morty had no chance at all. FW now needs to deal with PE Sports on top of the roof. And PE Sports, they have two teams to watch out for, FW and Team Flash.
PE Sports not in a great spot as FW right down there below them. They do pop that Steffi, no grenades going to connect just yet. Very good call coming through here for Team PE Sports, but at the same time, they do not punish FW. As I say that, don't cry, does manage to tag the one and only Mello up with that RGS. Dane Fan gets the grenade as well onto DNP, but that's just a pure knock coming on through. DNP is going to get picked right back up, but Nuke now goes down. Does he bleed out? Nobody running that Raphael from the opposite side on Team Flash to force that.
Yeah, DNP getting knocked down by the nade a second time. You can see in UK, he almost bled out. They able to bring him back up. Alpha, meantime, completely wiped off the earth by Fasto Mundo of all teams. FW on the other hand, really punishing Team Flash. UK steals that one away and even finds Get High from afar. They all want to get into the circle, but they need to get to FW and PE Sports.
First Raiders dispatching all of them. E-Arena now might just come across the First Raiders eclipse. PE Sports in the meantime dealing with FW as the circle closes on. And this is going to tag them both up. There is no winner from this fight, but PE Sports does manage to dispatch FW in the nick of time so that they can stay a couple of steps ahead of the circle. Team Flash brings back one player. Shut Up goes down, and it looks like Team E-Arena is just a little bit down on all of their resources here.
But they do have control of the circle right now because FR needs to turn their attention over to Fasto Mundo and PE Sports. They can't focus on E-Arena. UK running in, narrow there as well. They're gonna find the grenade launcher onto the members of Fasto Mundo, and First Raiders Esports narrow once more with this weapon in hand, bagging the kills for his team. 11 for PE Sports.
M79, just when I thought we're not going to see more of that, we see it yet again. And Nero, the best one to abuse that weapon. Don't cry now. Charge Buster out already alongside Get High on the other side. EVOS Phoenix now trying to run circles around their opponents of PE Sports. And a flurry of grenades thrown against Nero as well. That ice grenade is going to be forcing them to reposition. But EVOS says no. Nero claimed by already. Don't cry just beyond that glue wall.
Look at E-Arena. They have spread out so much to stop EVOS Phoenix to get into the safe zone.
Wow.
Limit, you need to do it already. The two big snipers of the team, Limit starts firing. He knows that already is dead. Tags him to the glue wall also.
M82.
If they get already down, this is going to be huge for E-Arena. Limit pushing in for more. Does have the RGS 50 in hand as well. He's going to get pressured. Props the time turner. Protede now getting pushed by Get High and Jonah as they both move in. Protede down low. Somehow wins against Get High. Are you kidding me, Protede? Jonah also gets knocked down. Protede going massive in this CQC. Limit drops. Don't quite still alive. But EVOS Phoenix, they're down 2 members. Protede finally gets nicked by that ice grenade on the floor. It's going to be a 1 versus 2 right now.
Already popping out all of those grenades, and EVOS Phoenix right back up on their feet. Don't cry in the meantime, just watching all of this break down. PE Sports wants the booyah, and he claims the elimination onto Jonah as well. But as the final player for the side of PE Sports, what can he do going up against 2 massive...
Wood!
He got them both through the blue wall. What? The Woodpecker manages to secure the absolute craziest elimination onto the 2-time world champs.
That is the best clutch I've ever seen. Look at the pop-up on PE Sports. They knew that they have done virtually the impossible towards the very end. And remember, they were the one who had to push away FW. They ran into FR. They dealt with Fasto Mundo, but they were down to 1 man. While EVOS Phoenix was busy dealing with E-Arena, they came out and did that. Unbelievable.
PE Sports secures yet another booyah. 4 in total of the group stage. And what a way to get that done. Fantastic final play out of the team.
I'm speechless.
Wow.
That was definitely one of the highlights here. If we have seen the top 10 plays, you know, Arena does, we do have, with the help of Arena and production, top 10 plays of the week. That is going in for sure.
And that's back-to-back booyah for PE Sports, both on Bermuda.
Again, right, this is the performance that we saw from them at the start of the group stage, but they have turned it up a notch. I mean, you can see how much that meant to PE Sports at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the guy was almost in tears already, and this is towards the end of the game, and we still had 8 teams, high and mighty. I believe this was like the 4th circle in. And as all of that was breaking down, Fasto Mundo eliminated. Don't cry, final shot, eliminates Jonah. Already just backing up with Moshi, and he just takes both of them out of the equation. Already just could not pick them up in time.
Back to back as well. You know, he had no glue walls. He's losing health. You had to land 2 shots back to back. And he did that. My goodness.
no AWM, no MAT2.
With the woodpecker of all things.
Woodpecker. I mean, the woodpecker is a very
Swiss
solid
Army knife,
sniper. It's got that extra bit of armor penetration set to it, which is fantastic in a final circle where there's just so much of chaos erupting, where teams are in constant battle against each other. You know those armors are going to get cracked. You know those players are going to be losing HP. And he took the chance into his own hands and he just went for it, right? And what was the most beautiful thing about this guy, Don't Cry, who almost cried, is the fact that he played that timing so well.
Oh yeah, that was what those split-second decision-making from this man, definitely out of this world, right? That is a big motivation for PE Sports, especially when you look at this team. I believe they will be playing tomorrow also, right? And you end the day with this play. Watch out for PE Sports tomorrow.
4 booyahs. Not many teams can say that they've got exactly that on them. And PE Sports are the proud owners of a back-to-back booyah. Nero gets a 5, but the MVP obviously is Don't Cry with 10 eliminations to his name. And so concise, 2,720 damage with 10 eliminations.
This guy is a beast for sure. 10 eliminations. They have a total of 17. So that's what, 29 massive points for PE Sports.
I'm wondering exactly what was he running here in terms of his passive and active skills.
We're gonna see it right now. A124.
A124?
Yeah, A124. And I gotta say,
he's got the J-beams, he's got the Kelly, Awakened Kelly. So he's got that extra bit of movement in there. J-beams with the extra layer of armor, which is good for him. But I expected him to run someone like Maro to have a little bit of extra damage based on the distance, but nothing to top that damage up.
Yeah, there's a raw...
But he did have the Dreki though.
Yeah, he did have that, and the Hayato, right? So yeah, a bit of damage reduction from the front. I mean, Don't Cry. This was also the player that when we first saw them, when they were still under the banner of MDH, one of the star players of the team, right? And that time they were a very slow team. They took a long time to warm up, didn't really perform well, but now look at them.
So for anyone who doesn't know exactly how Dreki helps you out in a situation like this, Dreki at its max level reveals the position of up to 4 players if they are using a medkit around a 30-meter radius. In that final circle, you are more than covering the 30-meter radius. And guess what are people doing in the final circle? Patching themselves up, especially if they've been in a battle, which is exactly what was going on out there. Big brain plays with that information. He knew exactly where to aim, exactly how to shoot. Trogon gets the top gun spot this time round. No surprises there. Parafal once again making its way up to the second spot, and the AC-80 claims the third. We've talked excessively about these guns. You guys know exactly why they're getting the top popular weapon spots.
Yeah, the new popular one, the new kid on the block is definitely Trogon. We're going to take a look at the current standings of this match.
Yeah.
After game number 6, 29 massive points, including a booyah for PE Sports.
Wow.
Evos Phoenix coming in second with 23. Vasto Mundo got 16, their best performance so far.
And I love it. We challenged Vasto Mundo to rise up to the ranks this time round, and they left Farang in the dust with the way they pulled that off. First Raiders Eclipse getting the 4th spot with a total of 12 points for themselves. E-Arena unfortunately bombed out compared to the rest of their Bermuda displays in terms of aggression with just 11 points to their name. But this is the overall standings when you compare Group A versus B versus C. With Group A and B having that extra 6 matches, obviously you're going to expect some of the C team members to be down in the bottom. But Evos Phoenix still holds on to that number 1 spot.
Yeah, and despite a seemingly slower day-to-day, Evos Phoenix still remaining on top, right? 249, First Raiders Eclipse. A rough day for them, but they hold on to second place. FW catching up to third.
Yep.
Look at where PE Sports are at right now. 4th place, 192. Mob Team, 5th place. Team Flash, tied with Mob Team. E-Arena in 7th.
E-Arena went from 16 to 7, rising up 9 ranks. Dude, what a play. And they were shy of 3 points from that 100-point run in this day. But once again, rising up 9 slots in rank is no easy feat, and E-Arena walked the talk, although they didn't really talk much.
They were talking for themselves. We hope things get better, and things did get better. So we caught a glimpse of 12th place is held by Alpha currently. It was held by Alpha, and 120 something points.
Yeah.
So that is the mark to beat, right? For teams like LGDS, for teams like Vastomundo.
Yeah.
Vastomundo finally broke away from 17. They're in 15th spot right now. And honestly, 1-2 good rounds could send them into the 12th spot.
Yes.
So Vastomundo, their run is not done just yet.
It's not done just yet. We do have one more day of play as far as Group B and A is concerned. So Vastomundo surely has another shot, but that's only in 6 rounds. But it's great to see the fact that they've already risen up to the occasion in week 2, showing us that they can show a little bit more aggression out there on the battlefield. We saw a little bit more initiative, and not just Vastomundo. Team Alpha was showing so much more initiative this time around.
Oh, yeah.
The only 2 teams I have a complaint about, surprisingly, is actually LGDS, which kind of went back to their old ways a tad bit, and Farang, who just did not show up.
I mean, out of those 4 teams, Vastomundo needs to be more aware because tomorrow is their last day in the group stage. We'll see if that's going to happen. We're going to sign off for the night. See you tomorrow for Group B versus C.
There's something in his eyes. There's a storm thing, but it's written in the sky. Let it break me till it's over. Won't let it shake me, no. Won't let it make me go under. Won't let it make me go under. So now it's time to fly.